I am
Just
so
don't
hot,
play
by the way.
music from other people.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't play music. Don't, I don't know, show someone playing Gloomhaven. Because that's another thing you can't do, apparently.
Yeah. So, you know.
I don't know whether I've made a wise choice here, to be honest.
With what?
Well, I decided I got some Doritos Flaming Hot Tangy Cheese.
You love those.
Holy shit, these things are hot. Good God almighty.
But you love them.
I like them, but they're burning my gob off. I mean, I'm not being funny, but my lips have gone numb.
Mm.
I mean, these things are spicy.
Not a good thing
Ooh, God.
to have before
I know,
you talk a lot.
Well, not only that, I'm already warm, and now I'm even hotter because I'm eating spicy food.
Yeah.
Holy crap, man.
Stuart, you're always hot.
I know, I am a hot guy. I get you. I know I'm a handsome guy. Although, I'll be honest with me, honestly, this warm weather reaps havoc. I look like a fluff ball.
Reeks.
No, reaps. Reaps havoc, isn't it?
It's reek. W-R-E-A-K.
All right. Whatever. I'm reaping havoc. There you go. How about that? I'm reaping the havoc of the hot weather.
Sure.
I'm ready to go.
Start?
Ready.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, God, I'm so hot.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
Stuart is very hot.
I am a hot.
Derek, sounds like a great guy.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Stew story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite savior.
Perfectly level flying is the supreme challenge of the scale model pilot.
It's the veteran gamers.
And now it's got hot new games like The Legend of Soltar.
Plus it cures all diseases, dude!
Switch that console off before you have to press repeat.
This story sucks.
I'm a potato.
Hello and welcome to episode 645 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Okay, 6:45. We're coming at you. I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
And I'm Chinny.
Just so everyone knows, I've been really stressed today, and so my brain is not happy, and I'm doing my best to be here and put it all behind me, but it's hard. Emotional,
frazzled is Duke. He's a frazzle.
And we all know that the worst person to be around when you're like that is Stu Fowler, everybody. Stu Fowler.
I'm totally like that. Grumpy, man. Talking grumpy. That's me now.
No, I'm just saying you're like the worst person to be around because you're like a northerner. So you're like, mental health. Back in my day, it was called.
What the bloody hell's that?
It was called bloody sticking your thumb up your arse and getting on with it.
What you need to do? Punch yourself in face, man. Punch yourself in face. You'll be fine.
That's women's stuff. That's what
women's
people
stuff.
from up north.
Welly wangling. Very you're being very stereotyping there.
Anyway,
Chinny,
we are not military veterans. We're veterans of the gaming lifestyle.
That's true.
Yeah, we are.
And we're streaming live on YouTube and Twitch.
YouTube, Twitch. Can I just say, by the way, there is something we need to discuss.
Go ahead.
Discussion time, because 650 is coming up soon. Yes, and we normally do something for the half centuries and the centuries, don't we? I guess.
Yeah.
605. Hey, we couldn't, maybe.
How about everybody send us £100? That's
no, I like that. No, maybe we can get calls in, but maybe it's people who haven't been on before. We've only just started listening, or hasn't been listening since, since they came to us after 600.
How about this? Do us a favor. If you're listening for the first time this week, we want you to be on our 650th show.
Yeah,
especially if you listen this week and never again after this. We would love for you to come on and be like, here's why I stopped listening after that one show.
That's a bit weird, Duke. I don't know why you want that.
That's very specific.
Weird, but I think, we've never done it before.
Particular, I think is the word you're looking for.
I just think that would be funny.
Or should I call you
Duke? Annoying, sour American. Who the fuck wants to listen to that?
Or should I call you Michael?
Hey.
A bit weird. Considering his name is
Stuart.
Mike. See, his name is actually Mike, and he's never Michael. He wasn't.
Is it not Michael? It was on your
no, it was just Mike.
On my birth certificate, It's just
Oh wow.
Mike.
Mike.
Well, I'm gonna call you Michael as a nickname then.
Wow.
I don't mind. When I was younger, I'd be like, no, I am. But
See,
honestly,
everyone's talking about how I should not call you Michael, but now you're like, it's fine.
I don't really care.
Stuart is referring to something that happened on Twitter, by the way.
It is. You
Saw a pretty
blew.
girl just the other day. She winked and she smiled,
haven't
walked
played it in
across
a
my
million
way.
years. We got it.
I couldn't figure out just what to say, so I twittered it. Twittered
So,
it. Twittered it.
For
Stupidest
people
song
that
in the
don't
history of
play,
music.
don't go on the Twitters, enlighten
I don't
me.
play Twitter.
I don't
That's
play
like a
Twitter.
video game.
It could
You
be.
know,
It
you
is a
wanna get
video
those
game.
points.
It's gamified.
I've got popcorn, by the
much.
way.
That's great. I'm eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Stuart, what are you eating?
I'm eating extra
Hold it up to the
spicy
camera.
Doritos. Yeah, let's do some product placement. Doritos, flaming hot, tangy
Ugh.
cheese, and I'm
That
not
just
kidding
sounds
you.
Terrible.
These last for ages though, because of that
All
hot.
Doritos last for ages.
No, these do because they're that hot. You can't eat many at a time.
Oh wow.
You know what I
there's
mean?
that. I thought you meant like they're
off.
packed full of preservatives. I love watching the number of people watching us now.
Here we
It was
go.
at like
Here we
9
go.
2 seconds ago. Now it's down to 4.
Oh my
And
God.
people
Yeah.
are like, I'm
That's
not
so
listening to this
spicy.
shit.
It's
So,
like a
so what
challenge.
happened on Twitter?
So on Twitter, I made a big deal about playing something other than Rocket League, and so I wrote something like, just so that everyone knows, because I love Stuart and Michael so much, I'm
Yep.
gonna now play something other than Rocket League. And people were like, "Who's Michael?" And then they were like, "Oh yeah,
It's
Chinny."
Michael.
So
You
yeah,
see,
that's the
Susan
story.
SLH summed it up the best because she put me too, because some other replied and put me too. It's bad enough hearing Mike, not Chinny, but Michael is beyond weird.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah.
My next door neighbour used to call me Michael. She was Michael. You know, she was sort of
Yeah.
posh older people call me Michael.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I am nothing if not a posh older person.
MS Ranger said, I'm thinking, who the fuck is Michael? Only as I
Yeah.
typed this, I realised it's Chinny or Mike, but
Yeah.
Michael, that's just weird.
Yeah, well, I'm a weird guy. I don't know what to tell you. All right, I got a story for you.
My favorite time. It's story time.
And it's funny because I ended my workday Friday on the top of the world. I felt so good. In fact, I felt so good Friday that on Saturday morning, my first day of the weekend, strange how that works, right? At 8 a.m. I was out riding my bike.
Wow.
Like, that's how good I felt on Saturday. And now I feel the opposite of good. But here's
Wow.
why I
Yeah.
felt so good on Friday. They gave us a day that was devoted entirely to packing up our rooms because they're opening a new school next year. They're doing a lot of renovations in the school I'm at, and I'm going to the new school next year. So,
Woohoo! New school.
right. So, but that means I have to pack up my entire classroom, which is something I've only had to do once.
Is it
when I
far away
moved
from where you currently work?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not even moving it. They're moving the boxes for me.
But
I
is
just
it
put
like
everything
a
in
different?
No,
like,
your new school. Is
Like,
it,
is it a
boxes.
new-
It's in the same city, but it's on the other side of town.
Is it inconvenient for
okay.
you?
No,
Do you want to kick? Are you mad about it?
no, I'm fine.
Do you want to kick?
So
off
here's the
about
point.
Well, what
Here's the
about when
point.
you took your Skyrim map off
This
the
is
wall?
really helping my mood.
Do it, do
Just
it.
Keep asking these weird questions and low
It's not,
tones
I'm
of
just
voice and
asking.
interrupting my ability.
Here's the
to tell
point.
story.
Go.
Go.
Yes. Here's the point. I have a million billion papers to grade, which is why I'm feeling so stressed and overwhelmed right now. But I said to myself, okay, you know what? Friday, they put the time aside for us to be packing up our rooms. I haven't even started. A lot of other teachers started like a month ago. And I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to devote the entire day to packing up my room. And I did. I got a lot of work done. I packed up all the books for 2 classes. I packed up
Wow.
my entire classroom library. I felt so proud. I was so happy. I had made so much progress. And here's the thing. I realized that so little of my day involves actual moving of things, so that spending an entire day putting books in boxes and moving boxes around and assembling boxes and stuff, like it was a tactile sense of accomplishment. And I felt so happy because I could look at what I had done and be like, look, it's the work in physical form. And most of the time it's like digital bytes and bits and I'm yelling at students all day and like
Bleep,
I have
bleep, bleep.
nothing to show for it. Right.
Whoa,
So
just
to
a minute.
have-
Joe, whoa, hold the fucking conversation. You shout at your students. I can't believe that, dude.
It's hard to believe, I know.
I know. I can't believe that's a thing. Is that really a thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, although according to some random idiot on Reddit, maybe the students are using their phones to tune you out since you make baseless claims. Whatever. Anyway, the point is that if you do work like me that mostly involves digital paperwork and or dealing with people in ways that are not like tangibly resulting, spend a day packing up some boxes and stuff. Do something that involves physical work that you can look at, because it gave me a whole new appreciation for the reason why my mind is often just swimming in chaos, because I never get that visible, like, here's the thing, like, here's the work that you did today. So yeah, that was my exciting Friday.
Wow, sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Have you done anything exciting, Chinny? Anything for you?
No, I'm just gonna say, like, tidying up is very satisfying. I always like tidying up and doing all that sort of stuff. I've had a very busy week. I've been here, there, and everywhere. I haven't had time to put jam up my arse this week.
Wow. Well, do you normally do that?
Normally I do that. I fit that in twice a week, but no, none of that this week.
It's a weird thing.
Sort of preventative colon cancer thing.
But I've been to. I went to see Chris Rock this week.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Was good.
Did someone slap him? I bet he's never been asked that joke before.
I went to the beach yesterday. I went to London on Thursday.
Which beach did you go to? Anywhere nice?
Tywyn Beach in Wales.
Right. Whereabouts in Wales is that?
Just like an hour north of Aberystwyth.
I assume that beach is spelled with
on the
7
west
L's
coast?
and 6 M's.
Yeah,
on the west coast. Oh, I could maybe go there. I'm going to the Wales tomorrow.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's a whack beach, but
I'll not go.
But there is a beach in Wales, and it's not. It sounds like the one in Cornwall, but it's not. But there's a Newquay beach in Wales, which is very good.
Oh no. Oh,
so
okay.
If you're looking for a beach to go in Wales,
I want to go to a beach in Wales.
I've never been to a beach in Wales. What makes that one good versus the one you went to?
It's just got everything you want with a beach. You know, it's got all the.
Apparently,
well, I expect that a beach will have water and sand, and that's about it. What
apparently, you know, Port Marion. We talked about this last week. Port Marion. Apparently, there's a walk. You can walk around. You can go to Port Marion, and then if you go when the tide's out at the right time, you can walk around the coastline, and there's a little secluded cove with a beach, and it's like being in a deserted desert island.
I saw photos of it when we were there.
Yeah, it does look cool. So I'm going to try and do that. So we need to go on the day when the tide's out, then we can go around there.
If I were being
that would
really
be cool.
pedantic, I would talk about how there's no such thing as a desert island, but I'm not pedantic, so I'm not going to talk about it.
So
I know. Everybody says, I'm not trying to pick on you. Everybody does that.
Look, everyone calls them a desert island. Dude, get over it.
I know. It's stupid. I shouldn't even bring it up.
You are being stupid. Anyway.
So, I went to, where did I go? Stourport, and then, I don't know, other places, which is in Kidderminster. I've been here, there, and everywhere. I went to that
You've
there.
been a busy boy.
That there, London, on Thursday.
Oh, yeah, that there, London. Been there.
Oxford Street.
I like a bit of London.
I've never heard of that city. Where is it?
Yeah, that's where do you not know, Duke? If you live in America, that's where everybody from the UK comes from. Every person. That's where they all live.
Some people are in Manchester.
Oh yeah, Manchester as well. Yeah, you know that.
Yeah, that's it. Those are
that's it. If you're an American, you say, "Hey, you come from the UK? You come from London?" And you go, "No,
my
Manchester."
favorite thing to do when someone says they're from another country, I always immediately say where in that country, and then they'll tell me, and I'll act like I know like where they're talking about, but I don't. But it's a way of indicating, like, you know, I'm curious.
Or you go, "Oh, do you know John?" And they go, "John? Yeah, John. He lives there."
And actually, somebody was talking about their families in India, and I think they're in Andhra Pradesh, which is an area that there was a Minecraft map based on Earth. And for whatever reason, I ended up in that part of India when I was on this Minecraft map. And so I was like, I'm going to build here. So I made the whole village like that, you know, on Pradesh.
Did you tell them that?
Whatever. No, but there was a part of me that was like, tell them. But they were just,
because they would have been like,
there's no way they would have been like,
cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they would have been.
I gotta go.
Cool.
So yeah, I've been here, there, and everywhere, and then, but you know,
I want to find out the name.
That's not the focus of the week, Stu. The
wow.
focus of the
what
week
else happened? Good God.
Is that somebody on this show turned 50?
I did 50. Oh, still hard to believe. Half a century, people.
Birthday.
Have you had
Weird.
anything from me yet,
Weird.
Shu?
Play everybody's
nothing.
favorite birthday
Nothing.
song.
And there's a problem. Sorry, go on. Let's
Here
see
at the
this.
Fun Zone, we live by one rule. When it's your birthday, you're always cool. Parents and kids are all the same. Watch as I do a dance to your name.
Stuart. Stuart.
Yeah, is that instead of Derek? Is that where that comes from? There you go.
I can't do Derek.
No, nothing's come. Nothing's come yet. And there's a problem. There's a problem because
You going away?
I'm away. I'm away on holiday from tomorrow. So yeah, it's a bit strange, but yeah. But and I'm sure it will come eventually. Is it Amazon? Am I expecting an Amazon parcel?
No.
Or is it from somewhere else? Okay. Is it from China? Because they take ages.
No.
Okay,
But it is
then.
from abroad.
Well, that probably explains it. I'm quite excited, though. I am intrigued and excited as to what it may be.
Some say, not us, and normal people, and people with brains or logic or anything in their head, but some say the greatest country of all time.
Really? Was that America?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, is it? I mean, but like some say that, but it's not.
So it's coming all the way from America.
It's coming
Oh
all
my
the way
God,
from America.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And
By
it's
the
not-
way, sorry, it's Andhra Pradesh was the place I built it.
Now I'm intrigued because I'm
It's
like,
not-
what the hell?
and it's not
could you not
Duke.
get here?
It's not Duke in a
No,
box.
it's not Duke.
Not
No,
me,
that
I'm
would
not
be
in
too
the box.
much. That would
Yeah.
be too much. That
So-
would be too much. But yes, I've had a great birthday. We had the day out.
Yay.
Went to Bolton Abbey,
Okay.
which we like because we've been there before, and
Right
we
next to Downton Abbey.
walked 8 miles, which is quite a long way for an old fat person
It is
like
a
me.
long way. That's
It
not a
is,
birthday
it is.
celebration. That's a birthday torture.
It is. It was touching, and we
Well,
had
it
a
is for
nice
me.
picnic. We had a picnic. So we did that, and I got some very cool presents. Have to say.
What did you
So I
get?
did-
What was the best
I
present
did
you
well.
got?
We
know he was waiting for that shit.
Well, I got my new projector for the garden.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got
Yeah,
an-
because the
an
old one was
L-
a piece of shit.
Well, it kind of was. I only paid about 60 quid for it, but it did its job for 4 years. To be
60
fair,
quid, man.
60
Fuck's
quid.
sake.
and it worked all right.
I'd
You know,
be
but
pissed off if you invited me round.
It wasn't very high resolution, so I have invested
Just squint. It'll be fine.
in an LG Cinebeam that's got built-in battery. It's got built-in Netflix and apps and stuff, and 1080p. And we watched the first movie on it last night in the garden, and it looks
What
brilliant.
movie?
I can't remember what it was called now. The new Rebel Wilson movie on Netflix. So it was all right. All right.
We watched Untouchables last night. That is not a great movie. I'm sorry.
I thought The Untouchables was good, but then I've not watched it in years, so I might have changed my mind when
The
I
music
watch
was
it
just,
again.
the music was nominated for a Grammy, and the whole time we're like, oh God.
Really?
Yeah, it's just and it
Really?
was Izzo and McConaughey, whatever. Like Good, Bad, and the Ugly. He knows how to make music, but this movie, he just didn't know what to pick. He just threw all the music styles together, and it was like, ugh. Music was a mess.
So that was cool. So we did that, and then we're taking it away on a holiday with us in a sheet, and we're gonna string a
Sorry,
sheet.
you're
up
taking a
and-
projector on holiday?
It's tiny, Duke. This thing you can fit it in a handbag, or a little bag or a suitcase or whatever. It's small.
You can fit it in a large suitcase, Duke. It's
You
One of
can
the
fit
things
it
I
in
like.
very
One
small.
of the things I like about holiday is getting away from some of the.
Yeah, joking. We still have to, watching movies at night.
You can fit it on a very
You can
small
watch
car.
movies on your phone or
Duke,
a laptop.
Duke,
for
Why on
God's
earth would
sake.
I wanna do that? I
I need
watch
to
it on a
project it
giant
on the
screen.
wall.
No, I'm
Duke,
not doing.
It's very
Oh, for
small.
God's
You can fit it
sake.
on a very small car roof, right?
You
It's
can
nothing.
do. You can do. It's like Chinny's first drone. It's that small.
Anyway,
Um,
go on. what
So
else you
yeah,
got?
so we're taking a sheet with us. We're going to just string a sheet up as a screen. It'll be fine. And we're going in a log cabin, so we can just string it up between the struts and what have you. It'll be good.
All
It's going to
right,
be cool.
cool.
So we're going to do that. And the other thing I got for my birthday, which was a sort of after birthday gift, because I got some money.
After birthday, that sounds like the placenta's going everywhere, and you're like, woo!
Wow, how you made that link, I have no idea.
Because it's called
Afterbirth.
afterbirth. Have you never heard the term
After
afterbirth before?
birthday, I get you.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah, that's
me.
a bit weird. Yeah, so no, thank you.
Explain
Just,
it.
I'm not
Right.
going anywhere near you with all that jam. We're all right, sticky mess. So, so yeah, I got some cash. I got cash off people, off various people. So
You're
I've
still
come to
getting
all that-
cash at 50.
I know, yeah. Well,
Shouldn't you be
yeah.
giving it?
No, getting cash.
In Japan,
So-
the birthday person gives everyone else gifts.
I've invested in a second controller for DJing.
Oh.
And this thing, I am absolutely loving it. It's quite compact. and it's called a Newmark Mix Stream Pro.
Okay.
So what's cool about this is it's a full-on standalone, don't need a laptop, has built-in speakers, take it anywhere you like, plug it in.
I hope you're taking that on holiday.
Away, no, I'm not taking that on holiday.
Fuck me, it's 539 quid.
Oh yeah, they're not cheap chips, but it's so cool, and it's got Engine OS. You can, once you've converted all your music, you just stick a memory stick in it, and away you go. And your whole...
Jesus, Batman!
It's brilliant. I love it. The speakers, right? I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting a lot, and I know it's 500 on quid, but I was like, they'll be fine. The speakers, they are so loud and bassy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, wow, this is
started.
brilliant. You know, you could have it
By
in a
the way,
garden.
I listened to your Trance Mix 3 with the beat goes straight on and on. That was
Oh
a good
yeah.
mix. I enjoyed
Oh, it's
that.
good, isn't it? It's good. I like that. I really like that tune now.
Yeah, it's a
Although
good song.
that beat just goes straight on and on.
I see what you did there.
It's quite interesting though. It's quite hypnotic. I found after a
Yes,
while.
I
It's
agree.
one of those
Yes.
tunes. Although it's not like very melodic. It does change quite a bit. You know, there's quite a lot of variation, but it is very sort of hypnotic. I liked it. I
It's a
really
good
like that.
track,
I've had a couple of good suggestions lately because Cherry Scone, she suggested one for one of the trance mixes, and I really like that. I've never heard it before. So I love it when I hear a new tune I've never heard before. I'm like, oh, I really like that. It's good. So thank you,
Yeah.
Duke. Great recommendation. I know you had to go through a lot of track till you got to it because it's right at the end nearly.
Okay, it was a good ride.
But yeah, no, there's some good. All of those trance mixes, I was really pleased with all of them. Yeah, they're all really nice mixes, and the latest ones are pretty cool as well. Yes, I got a Viva Pinata controller. That was kind of cool.
It's just
give
a
it go
pinata
crack.
controller, not a Viva Pinata.
I like Viva Pinata. Saying
Viva
that,
Pinata
so-
is the name of the game. Pinata
I know.
is
I'm
the
going.
name of the thing.
I'm going for the
Well, hitting
the
it
whole
with a
gaming
pinata stick,
reference.
that's a game.
It's a Viva Pinata controller. Viva Pinata.
It's a
It's
pinata.
not Viva
con-
Pinata. There's nothing about Viva Pinata on it.
Well,
It's
I
like
want-
saying
I
it's a
want-
Gears of War controller pinata.
Well, it is.
No,
I'm
it's
gonna
not.
go with that. I like that.
It's a pinata.
Let's
It's a
go with that.
pinata.
It's just a pinata in the shape of a controller.
Yeah.
So it's good. Anyway, that was just full of sweets, so that was quite cool. So
Now, if you had said "Viva my pinata," controller
my
base, that would have been
pinata.
one thing.
I got a deck saver for my main controller, my big one that I have next to my PC.
Sorry,
So
what's
that's
a
quite
deck
good.
saver?
So it's like Perspex lid, if you will, like a top of a record player lid.
In the
that
same
you
way
put-
you need a box for your Gloomhaven stuff, you need a lid for your controller.
Well, this kind of stops.
But what are
it
you going to
getting
put that
dust.
controller lid in? When
Stops
you're
the
not using it?
dust.
No, he sits on top of the controller like a lid.
You need a
So you don't-
case to put the lid in when you're using it.
No. Well, I don't know. I'll put it.
How
this
about a
side.
hook to have the case that you put the lid
Well,
in?
maybe.
You can
Maybe.
hang it on the
Anyway, I
wall.
had a great birthday, and yeah, looking forward to my birthday week away tomorrow. So it's gonna be good
Yeah,
fun.
that sounds like fun.
So yeah, man, it's been a really good week. I love my new controller. I'm proper impressed. I'm
Well,
like,
happy birthday, shoot.
oh.
Yeah.
So Chinny, if you want a party at a house, I'm your guy. I've got a mobile disco basically in a box.
One day,
I
I
am
will
ready to
take you
go.
up on that offer.
I am ready to go, man. You can
One
give
day.
me what you want. And I'm not you know what? I'm not one of these precious people who DJ and go, I'm not playing any shit you tell me. I'm just going to play my own stuff. You know, I'll play whatever you want. I'm not bothered. You know, I'm quite
Merzbow.
easygoing. I'm easygoing.
Play Merzbow.
What the hell is that? No, I'm not playing anything you want. Jesus Christ. I want something that does sound vaguely musical. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you are one of those snobs who won't play.
Well,
Merzbow.
no, but Duke, I've heard some of the
that-
weird stuff you tell us.
That,
It's just that weird. It's like that bloody whatever that noise music stuff is. What the fuck
well,
is
that's
that?
Merzbow, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What
I
about
don't want
John
any of that.
Cage 316?
I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be something weird, so I'm going to say no. Just saying.
It
So yeah,
won't
it's been a
hurt your
good week.
ears.
It's been a good week. Anyway, that's not video games, so let's talk
No,
about
it is
those.
not. All right.
Where are you going? Story time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
Yeah, so I'm going first. I'm getting it out of the way, and
Get it
because
out
it's
of
not
the
a
way.
video
No,
game,
no one's
so,
upset.
So I'm not going to talk about a video game. But the second session of Gloomhaven has occurred. So we have
fun?
played the second scenario in the game.
And it was fun.
Well, here's the thing, right?
That's
Gotta
cool.
say, the organizer that I bought is the best thing I've bought so far, connected to this board game because
Wait a minute,
it
how many
made-
things have you bought connected to this board game?
I know it's mental, isn't it? It made such a difference. When we were
I'm glad to
setting
hear
it
it.
up, just got the enemies out, put them on the board, and
So is it fair to say then that the game itself should have come with that kind of organizer?
Well, it feels like maybe it should have done, but again, it just adds to the cost, I suppose. It's dear enough to begin with without having an organizer in it. Or they could have organized the box inside better.
I just imagine a car that shows up as like a pile of stuff.
I know you have to
and
fix
it's
it
like,
together
hey,
yourself.
Get yourself a car organizer. I don't
That's
know what
kind of
to
like
tell
what
you.
I'll be
The
honest,
seats
right?
aren't bolted into place. You got to set it up.
Like I said last week, 3.5 hours to actually organize it all, but made such a difference.
Okay, so you had a much easier time getting started.
We had a much easier time. We read the rule. I read the rules
No.
properly.
This is where you start talking about the game.
No,
not
I'm just
you
I'm
reading
coming
the
on to that.
rules.
But I read the rules properly, so
He's
we got
leading up to it, Jenny.
We got all the stuff. We've got our personal quests.
I don't know
which
why
we
you
didn't-
correct him at this point.
Yeah, should have. Which we
It's
didn't
my
dish
bad.
out last time. We
I'm
didn't dish out
showing
any
my
personal
naivete.
quests last
Right,
time, so
personal
no one had
quest.
those.
Okay, what was your personal quest?
Can't tell you. It's a secret.
Oh,
You gotta
for
keep
fuck's
it secret.
sake!
Wow.
Let me tell you about this game I'm playing. Except that
keep
I
it secret.
can't tell you anything about it.
Do you know what's quite interesting though? Right, I will tell you something that's quite
I
interesting.
played
about your personal-
Skyrim. What'd you do in Skyrim? I can't tell you. It's
So-
a secret.
So just bear in mind, each scenario takes about 2 hours to
Right.
play,
Yes.
and my personal quest finishes at scenario 55.
See, the vast majority of things that we know about this game are how long it takes to set up,
Yeah,
how long
yeah.
your quests take, how incredibly complicated all the processes are. As
So-
for the content, anybody's guess. We
Well, I'm
have
gonna
no
tell you
idea
now.
if there's magic in this game.
I'm
we
going
have
to
no
tell
idea if
you
there's
now because I know.
orcs.
Well,
Okay,
to
go
be
ahead, tell me
fair,
now.
last time I didn't really know because we didn't really play it properly, so we didn't really know.
I had no way of telling you about the game's content
so-
last time. There was
So this
nothing-
time we are sorted. So I
sorry.
read out,
Let's back up a second. Hang on a second. I'm sorry. I don't like to interrupt you, but
go on. You can
are
interrupt
you
all
a
you like, go on.
human? Is your character a human?
No, I'm a brute, which is
A
like
brute?
I'm the brute. So it's obviously
Which is
class
like a orc
based.
kind of?
So 3 weeks
No,
in,
I'm
and we've
massive.
only just found out that he's a brute.
I'm a brute. I'm like a massive.
And what is your brute's
monster.
name? Did you get to pick the name? or
Yes,
is the name
Randall,
given
of
to you?
course, because I call every
Randall
character
Flag.
Randall.
Oh yeah, there we
in
go.
RPGs.
Yeah.
So I'm called Randall Flag, and I'm a.
Are you
I'm
called
a
Randall
huge-
in Mass Effect?
I've called my cat. No, if it's a
Randall
female
Shepherd.
character, I call them Randella. So it's Randella.
Randall, I was gonna make a joke about that, but you beat
Yeah,
me to it.
Randella if it's female, Randall if it's male.
So-
That's like
in every
Chris
single
Rock's joke
RPG.
about not knowing anything, not learning about Black history in school. It's like, can you tell us the woman who didn't give up her seat in the bus? That's hard. Are you sure it was a woman? I know, Martina Luther King.
So
Go ahead.
everybody's going around like talking about Shepherd is this and Shepherd. Meanwhile, her first name is fucking Randella.
Yeah, Randella Shepherd. I think it works. So I'm
You would call her Randella. That's such a
It's good.
distinctive name.
Do you know what though? My my character in Mass Effect looks like a Randella. I am so pleased with the character I created because she looks like a really stern librarian. So she's
Yeah,
kind
that's,
of bit,
that's who you want saving the galaxy.
yeah, but she's great because I'm playing
My dog was just eaten. Shh.
because I'm playing it as a renegade though.
I am the
mostly.
Promethean.
Yeah.
She's just brilliant. Like when she does any renegade
Get
actions,
your
I'm like,
cock off. Shh.
that's exactly how she would act. That's exactly. how she
Anyway,
All right, sorry, you're
So anyway,
brute.
so
You're
I've
Randall
read
the
the-
brute.
I've read the
Yes.
narration this time, so we know what the story is. So we know the story. So basically, we're a
Okay.
ragtag bunch of mercenaries that were in a pub.
Yes, and you
I
met
read
at
this-
a tavern.
Help her out because someone's stolen some papers from her, and it's
Ah.
like so. The first quest is like this bandit lair. So that's
Yeah.
where they went to the first scenario, and we've also
Are
did
you sure your brute's not also a librarian? We need the papers
No.
back.
So there's also before you set off, you do a city event and a road
Ah.
event, right?
Okay.
Now, what's interesting about these is you don't actually do a lot. You just get a card and it has a scenario written on the card, and then you choose between two options. So you either do one or the other. Now,
That is
one of the
interesting.
funniest ones, like our road event, was a dude whose cart had broken down and the wheel was broken.
Uh-huh.
And he asked
was
us to-
transporting a coffin.
No,
and
he's
he
just
started yelling about, "Mother needs to get
No,
home."
He was a merchant, so he was transporting a load of goods. So he
That's
stops
from
you and
Skyrim,
says,
by the way.
can you help me put my wheel back on? I'll reward you. or whatever.
Yeah, why wouldn't
And then
you?
the two options are no or yes, we'll help you. Sorry, yes, we'll help you, and you get rewarded. What one way or the other for doing it. Yes,
Yeah.
we'll help you, and you do his wheel.
Or no, kick him and take his wheel.
Yes, or no, we'll tie you up and take all your shit. So we decided to do that because that's what mercenaries would do. So we tied him up and took all his
on the mercenary,
stuff.
not Han Solo.
Yeah. So we took all his stuff, and we did get like -1 on our reputation or something for doing that. And we got 30
300
gold
to your gold.
No, we got 30 gold between us, which was pretty good for doing that. So that was pretty good. And then we got obviously then we got back to the second scenario after we read out all the stuff, and we faced our first boss. So we faced a boss fight.
Ooh, a boss fight already.
Yeah, so a boss fight in the second part of the quest. It was really good. It took us about 2 hours. We actually felt like we knew what we were doing to an extent, more so than we did the first time.
I would hope you would know more in the second time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I must admit, because we did everything kind of properly, we kind of knew what we were doing. We used all the
Here's the
modifiers.
question. Right, that's fine. Here's the question. The people play Dungeons and Dragons because it's giving you things you can't get in Skyrim or other like computer RPGs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's the benefit of playing Gloomhaven versus playing Dungeons and Dragons?
I think it's well, I say it's more simplified. It probably
Don't
isn't.
say simplified. Pick another
It's not
answer.
simplified, but what I
It's
would
not
say is it's not more simplified. But what it is there's no dice rolling, so you've none of that. It's all basically
So how do you
purely
know if you
card
beat the
based.
boss or not?
Because basically what you have about 8 cards.
Okay.
At the beginning
So
of
it's,
each,
it's like Magic the Gathering.
yeah, it's a little bit more like a JRPG. So you shuffle all your cards, and then you put the top 2 down, and you do the top action or the bottom action off your first card, and then the opposite on the other card, and it'll be either move 4 or it might be attack range 3 or something like that.
Be
So
reverse or draw 4.
yeah,
Is there a shoot yourself 6?
Uno,
Or...
you have to say
4
Uno when you only have
damage.
1 left.
Yeah, so that's what you do.
Is there a
So
hang yourself with a noose 12?
No, there isn't. So you play your cards until obviously you've won all your battles and beat all the baddies, and then you also each have a goal during the quest, which you have to. If you do that, you're going to get tick marks, and for every 3 tick marks, you get for doing those, you get a perk. So you get a perk added to your character.
I'm glad we're starting tonight's show with the hottest.
It is like
material we have.
it is like an RPG. It's basically like a computer RPG, I suppose, but in card format.
All right. Well, I'm
But
glad
it's
you're
good.
enjoying it.
Really good. Really enjoyed it. 4 of us
All
are
right.
playing. We've got a good team. We all are getting on and
Who's
having
the
a
4?
laugh.
Is it Fletch?
So there's me, Fletch, Lewis, and then my mate Steve. So he lives
Who's
just around the
Steve?
corner. Steve, Stanny.
Who's
Stop
trying to
I
make
don't know
fetch
Steve.
happen.
You've met Steve. You met him. He came to EGX once with
Well,
some other guys.
I don't approve of Steve.
Do you not approve of Steve? I think
Welcome to the flower shop.
what I would say is I think Duke would actually quite like this because it is like an RPG but on a table. I think he would play.
Nice
I think
thing
he would
about
play.
RPGs,
Dude,
you start 'em
that
up,
is a
play 'em,
question,
drop
dude.
out.
That is a question.
Yeah.
There's us 3 and some other guy that we like on a table. Would you play this?
I probably would play it. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is that like the benefit of Dungeons and Dragons, like I said, is that it's it all I didn't mention it is a social game.
Yeah, this
And
is the
I think,
same.
this would be social in that sense. I think I would if it were this versus regular D&D, I'd prefer just regular D&D.
Yeah.
But
I think what's
if you like
what's
this,
better about this over D&D is you don't have to make stuff. You don't have to have a dungeon master making stuff up because all the scenarios are
that's
set
fair.
out for you.
That's fair. Yeah.
So you don't have
that's fine.
to. What happens.
I just some people really do well with being a DM, and if you have a great DM, it can be a really.
James-
I did quite enjoy it when I did it.
James
I must
Bevan in
admit.
the chat says this looks like my idea of hell. I'm with you, James.
I'll tell you what though, I'm so glad we've got a massive table outside because you would never
Well, yeah.
you would never set this up on a standard size table. It's so big.
Hmm.
Just waiting
It
for
is
you to be playing it, and then
so,
halfway
so
through the
big.
game, the rain starts, and you're just like,
No, don't worry. We always check the weather forecast before we begin. But also, in addition, for next time, I've got an app on my tablet now that'll track all your stats and your score, like what your XP and all that stuff is, so you don't have to keep writing it down on a bit of paper. So that'll simplify it a little bit more. So everything we're doing, simple. Packing it away, we're great. It's ready to go for next time. We are sorted. There you go. So
I
good.
love that's the detail. Packing it away was great. Like
It was though. It still
I
took about
believe you.
15
It's
minutes,
a weird thing to
but-
talk. That's like when I quit out of Steam. Like that was awesome.
Well, you know when Chinny was talking about how satisfying tidying up is.
Yes.
That's kind of what it
I
felt
hear
like because at the end everything was
fine.
neatly back in the box. Last time we were just literally shoving stuff in anywhere, to
Yes.
try and get it back in. This time,
Yes.
all went in neat and tidy. I did have to get the YouTube tutorial on how to put it all back in again. But
Is
once
Chinny
it were
putting
in,
a prophylactic on his microphone?
I have no idea what he's doing. It's
That's what it
possible.
looks like to me.
It is possible.
All right, so
putting a
Gloomhaven's
condom.
great. Packing up was fun. Everything's good.
It's good. So who's
Okay.
next?
Jenny, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just.
Yeah.
I thought
Go ahead,
I've
Ginny.
got one of these, but I don't think this one fits. Oh well,
Great.
never mind.
Your mic is too big and thick.
Yeah, it is.
So, should we talk about Mass Effect, Stu?
Yeah, let's do that. I've not finished it. Gotta say, I've been
Pro
busy
boy.
most of the week,
Have
so
you,
I haven't
have
finished
you
it. I have-
played it?
I have. I've played quite a lot. So
Where are you?
I finished all the Geth missions, so they're all done. So all 3 of those, because that's quite a long time, a lot of time, because there's 3 on the same planet.
So that's when
and I-
Legion gets involved, isn't it?
Yeah, and I did. I think I made the same choice last time. It's a crap choice. It's a crap choice at the end of the last mission in that.
Remind me.
So basically, you've got to choose between Tally and Legion. So you either side with a Geth or side with Tally and whatnot. And sort of, I sided with Legion again, which I did last time, I think.
Yeah.
And Tally died. She died in mine. She probably didn't in yours, even if you side. Did you side with Legion or did you side with Tally?
Legion died in mine.
Yeah, so you must have sided with Tally then, did you?
Probably.
Yeah, you see, I went with the Geth last time as
Why
well.
did
but it's
Tally die?
So it's horrible. So basically, what happens is, right, if you side with Legion, because they're still shooting on the Geth, because they're helpless sort of thing after you've taken away the whatever it is, like the central AI or whatever that control that they all go in.
Yeah.
And they're all helpless and they're just being shot out of the sky. So you can either side with Legion, and he says, look, if you side with me, we'll help build a crucible
Oh, he's gone again.
from the Reapers. We'll be definitely better in your, for your war effort sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, and I did the same last time. I went with him. And what happens is, Tally then's, as you're sort of talking to him, he sort of collapses because his consciousness goes back into all of the Geth to transfer the code and everything, right?
Yeah.
But as he's doing that, when you turn around, Tally is on the edge of the cliff with facing you. And she's like, I don't know what she said. She's sort of crying because obviously they're all being destroyed and stuff. And she's like, I'm so sorry, Shepard. And then as she says it, she just literally just falls backwards off the edge of the cliff.
That's so lame.
And then there's commit suicide kind of thing. And there's a left trigger, right, Paragon thing. So I press it and Shepard hurtles towards her and then leaps over the edge of the cliff with her arm out, obviously trying to grab her. But she falls anyway, which makes it even worse. And it was horrible. And I'll be honest, I felt horrible. Because I'm like, obviously, Tally's a character that's been in it since the very first one.
Yeah.
So she's a huge character in the game and a massive part of it. And now she's dead.
Yeah.
So did you feel bad when Legion were dead? When Legion
No,
died?
because the way it goes is, for people that don't remember, Legion is the Geth character. And the way the Geth mind works is that they're all connected, so they're all one.
Well, it's a bit like the Borg, isn't it? In Star Trek, is a good.
Sure, if you want to talk about some other shit that I've never seen. So, Legion is we're all together. So Legion dies. The husk of Legion dies, but he's like, I'll live on. Whatever. So he sort of sacrificed. Quite noble, really. Sort of well, whatever, fine, as long as everything's cool. So it's kind of like a sad, bittersweet.
Yeah, so similar.
You know what I mean?
Not as bad as Tally jumping
No,
off.
yours is she feels so bad that she fucking jumps off. That's crap.
Yeah. Because all the people are being destroyed in space, so it's probably not a good thing.
I've got the footage of that bit on the screen.
Yeah, there probably is some way of saving both, but
I don't think there is.
I don't think there is.
I think it's one or the other.
Yeah. It felt horrible. I must admit, I felt almost a bit like dirty that I'd let
He's
her
got
die.
a heartbreaking decision to
horrible.
make about whether his best friend lives or dies.
Yeah, so it was a shame. I did feel bad. So I completed that. So that mission's done now. All those missions, and I'm way past the war assets required thing now.
Oh yeah.
So I've been given the mission to go and get the thing for the crucible to activate it and all that stuff. So I've got that to do now. So I did the shore leave because you was like, do shore leave.
Do the shore
So
leave.
I'm like, I'm gonna do shore leave. I really like it. It was kind of cool for me though. I don't know, I'm assuming you had this as well. You have that leather dress you got in Mass Effect 2, is it? Where you go to the thief mission.
Sexy dress.
So when I went, obviously, because you're going out for sushi, because that's how it all begins.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to get a dress up. I'm going to get dressed up. So I put on, I'll be honest, can I just say, before we move on to that, the apartment.
Yeah.
It's like some sort of weird bachelor pad, isn't it?
Well, it is, isn't it? It's Anderson. He's a
Yeah.
big fuck off player, isn't he? He's like a dirty dog.
It's like literally got every mod con you could imagine. I mean, this guy is loaded.
Yeah.
I mean, he is loaded. I mean, it's huge, that apartment.
Yeah.
And his memoirs are all over the place, which is kind of interesting and funny.
Just imagine that. Like, if you just have a flat, you just leave recordings of yourself everywhere.
Talking. It's just weird,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. And you can even play the interview on the telly screen as well, which is also very odd. But anyway,
I think Anderson's a bit of a egotistical maniac.
Definitely. So I think he's some sort of sociopath.
So Fraser Morris in the chat saying, "Oh, Mass Effect, it's like Groundhog Day." Well, I can't help it that you keep joining us when we're talking about Mass Effect.
Whatever, Fraser. Jesus Christ. At least we're not talking about power tools. So
or Valorant.
Yeah, Valorant. Jesus Christ, how dare you? Bloody dare you.
I'm
Anyway.
with you, Fraser, but you know what? There's nothing we can do about it except make it last longer by complaining.
Exactly. So anyway, off I go in my dress, right, to meet Joker to this posh sushi restaurant, which no one can get in. No one can get in. Sat at table, and then it turns out that neither of you messaged each other. It's all a setup to get you both there.
That's right.
It's a setup. And then is it Brooke, the new character?
Brooks.
She turns up and she's like, and she's great. I love her.
Yeah, she's great.
Love the character. And she's like, oh my God, what's happening? I'm some data analysis and I've analyzed some data and someone's hacked your account and all this stuff. And then she said it, all these mercenaries burst in and started shooting shit up.
That's right.
Which is pretty good. And it's like a movie within the game.
Well, I described it like an Uncharted mission. It's very Uncharted-like.
It's like a movie. And anyway, I'm not quite at the end, but I think I'm close to the end of it. I've got to a part where I've met someone else and I'm chasing them at the moment. So I don't know how far that is off the end of the mission. But
oh, you've met someone else.
I've met, you know what I mean, Chinny? I have met someone else.
You've met someone else.
Someone has introduced herself to me.
You know, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
So yeah, I'm chasing them at the moment.
Introduce myself to myself.
And I've got to say, that pistol you get.
Is that Jim Gaffigan?
I don't know.
Oh,
so I'm still.
I want to look at the gym. There's mirrors, and I want to look at myself while I work on myself.
No.
Maybe I'll read Self magazine.
No, that's Anderson.
Okay.
So here's the interesting thing, though, because you in between these like mini missions, you go back to the apartment, don't you, to sort of plan the next thing you're gonna do. Yeah. I'm still in the dress, man. I've kept it on. I thought,
keep
so
the dress
every mission, I'm in the dress, like shooting shit up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like it. I like I'm in the dress. So yeah, it's been good. It's really, really good.
As you can see, I didn't have the dress on for the mission here.
No, you were just in the
I'm just in my civvy clothes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, you need to get in the character.
You're right. I missed an opportunity.
She's on shore leave.
Hey, it was just a fucking meal with Joker. I'm not getting dressed up for that.
She's meant to be, chilling.
I give Joker the wrong signals. Do you know what I mean?
Military uniform, man.
Are you telling me you wouldn't want to smash
I've got to say,
Joker?
can I just say though, and this almost fits with the character I've created too. When you're in the dress, she does look a bit masculine. The way she walks and stuff, it's a bit masculine. You know what I mean? But then part of me thinks it's probably what she'd be like. That's probably her, isn't it? I think what's funny.
I
Can
don't
I
think
ask you?
my character's not really masculine. I don't think.
No, the way she walks, she sort of stomps, doesn't she? The animation for a
Sometimes.
walk.
I feel like
It's a bit
sometimes
stompy.
maybe they didn't do a female version of it. They do for
No,
some
no,
things.
it's just the male
And then
walk.
some cutscenes are like, we'll just get the guy to do it and it's fine.
Yeah, which is kind of funny. Can I ask you a question, right? Because you have to infiltrate a nightclub, which is very similar to the thief mission.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar to that. Does that put you in a dress automatically, or are you still in your civvy clothes? So that, do you know?
Is it infiltrate a night mission? A nightclub, sorry.
Yeah, you have to go and get in the
Oh,
safe
this,
room.
yeah,
don't you?
yeah. No, it puts you in
Having
the dress.
night vision.
Yeah,
would
yeah.
make it
So
even more
you have to
interesting.
go in the dress. I assumed you would.
Yeah. So
I
I'm in the
assumed
dress
you would.
now. Yeah.
Oh, yours is it? Oh no, it is the same dress. I thought it was different. Yeah, she goes for this leather look as well, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a leather look.
Sexy and I know it.
I gotta say as well, I thought Brooke scrubbed up quite well. You know,
Yeah.
she looked pretty good. She looked pretty good in her civvy clothes.
She does.
She does. So yeah, it's good. I'm really enjoying it. Having a lot of fun with the mission. And then I think I'm just gonna, after this mission, probably just concentrate on getting the game done.
No,
No?
because you haven't done the Omega one.
Oh god, do I have to do the Omega one as well? Is that? Oh my god. Okay.
The Omega
right.
one is like
All right. I'll do it.
amazing.
All right. What, better than this?
It's on a par.
Okay.
It's with that woman, that blue woman with the
Oh, Liara.
no, not Liara, the other one. The one who's like a bit of a badass and she runs Omega and stuff.
Oh, I like her.
Yeah, that's what you
Yeah,
said
no,
last
I'll
week.
oh yeah, I'll definitely do that. I forgot about
It's
that.
brilliant. It's like a whole.
I remember the
fucking
shore
thing.
leaving. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, I'll do
But
that.
that one-
and then
that
I'll
one-
concentrate.
That one, there's a mission on the Normandy where it says go to Dock 42.
Right. Okay.
If you do that, that starts this one.
Yeah, because this was hard to find because unless you can be asked to read your emails,
Yeah.
you don't activate it. Which is because
There's
I had
a-
to look up
when
how
you, when
to
you click
activate
on
it.
when you click on the Citadel. Sorry, when you click on the Citadel, it goes, "Do you want to go to Dock 42?" And you're like,
Yeah.
"What's Dock 42?" And then you have a meeting with this woman, and it kicks this off.
Right. Okay, but you have to read an email for that as well, do you? To activate
Probably,
it.
probably.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've up until doing that, I've not read hardly any of those emails.
I always read my emails.
Oh, do you know? Oh, do you? I never do. So yeah, I'll be doing that next. I'm guessing that'll come up as well because I'm already on the Citadel.
It
So
will.
it'll come up. So yeah, I'm doing this, doing that, and then I'll concentrate on ending and get finishing the game, which I believe you've done.
I have finished Mass Effect.
Yeah. How do you feel? You like it? What's your overall opinion now you've finished it for the second time?
A lot of the ending I don't remember.
No,
I mean,
probably- I
the
probably
mission
won't.
leading up to the end, I don't remember any of it.
That is funny.
It's yeah, it's a long mission. It's not that good. It's probably the worst last mission in Mass Effect 1 in the series.
Well, and
See, Mass
I
Effect 2
remember
were great.
feeling like they were just kept adding and like it had to be bigger than the last one. It had to be more explosive. It had to be more this. It had to be more that. And it's like at a certain point, like that's not why we've tuned into these games. Like we tuned in for good stories, and
Yeah.
it felt like with the third one they just kind of said, you know. And I don't know that it's the writers. I totally see the studio being like, make it bigger, make it longer, make it more
Yeah.
monumental, and it's just like stop.
Yeah. It's
Dragon Age 2 had the same problem. Sorry.
It's you know, from playing these three games about the ending, I think everybody remembers how good Mass Effect 2's ending is, and it's sort
Yeah.
of always held as like the one with the best ending. I've forgot about how good Mass Effect 1's ending was. I know it was
Yeah,
good,
it's good.
but it
It's
was
not bad.
It was a lot better than I remembered it being.
Yeah, not bad.
And Mass Effect 3, though, the actual ending, like the controversial
Yeah,
story
the controversial.
ending, that
Yeah.
aside, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the last things you do in the game. I don't remember any of that, and I thought that was like really, really poor. Maybe that led to some of the reason why it was received badly, because it sort of just
maybe.
ends on a kind of, on a, like just a nothing really. It's just basically the last mission in Mass Effect 3 is you're on some London streets and you hit a cross section and you have to fight off waves of enemies, and defend an area and launch.
Yeah,
a
it's
missile.
like the multiplayer horde mode, isn't
Sort
it?
of very, very close to, and it's nothing spectacular. It doesn't feel epic in any way. But after that, what you're doing is you're going towards this beam, which sort of beams you up to the Citadel, and the run to the beam is pretty good, I would say. Like, because all you got to do is get to this beam, right? And it's just an absolute ball ache. And here we're watching some of the bits that they added in, because I don't really remember the comparisons now. I'll have to compare them or something. But like there's a lot of like, you never find out what happens to the crew members in the original ending of Mass Effect 3. They just sort of disappear. So in the remake of the ending, which they did shortly after the game came out.
Yeah, I've never seen this, either. To be fair.
So what they did was that, like, for example, like your two squad mates, what happened to them? So they had cutscenes where it shows you what happened to them a little bit more, and there's a scene where like you say goodbye to them properly and all this sort of stuff. And then you get beamed up to the Citadel. I mean, you don't really play the game again. You move the character forward here and there, and that's it. So I don't know if you remember much about anything else, Stu.
I don't. I'll be honest with you. I've only very vaguely remember. I remember at the end you get to choose between 3 different options.
Yeah. So you meet. I don't remember this, but you meet Anderson up there.
Yeah.
And the elusive man up there.
Yeah.
Anderson and the elusive man sort of kill each other at the same time.
Yeah.
And you're sort of half dead as it is. And then you talk to that little boy that keeps popping up through the
Correct. So
thing.
you keep doing these weird flash things.
Yeah,
don't
so
you,
the
where it's
little
like a
boy's there and
dream.
he's like, yo, what up, Shepard? And you go, what the fuck are you doing here? And the little boy's like, I'm the Crucible, I'm the Citadel, I'm the Reapers, like, fuck you.
I'm everything.
And he's like, and you're like, I don't get it. And he then explains, like, I don't know, we just come up with a solution because you lot are fucking mad. You keep killing yourselves. So we cleanse the galaxy every 50,000 years. Everybody's happy. So, we harvest the best and then we just start the whole cycle again. But, you're the first human here. So that sort of fucks everything up because, if you can get here, that means we're fucked. That means you'll probably kill us next time. So we have to come to some sort of agreement. If you go down the left, this is it, right?
Isn't it weird though, right? I can just say, isn't it weird talking about this with massive spoilers, because normally we're like, I can't talk about that.
The game's 10 years old at this point. So
in Citizen Kane, he's talking about his sled.
So if you go down the right path, so if you go down the
Turns
right
out it's
path,
the wrong path. Hey.
I'm
just kidding. I don't remember.
If you go down the right path, it's something about it'll destroy all the robots. It'll destroy all the robots.
Yeah, I remembered that vaguely.
If you go down the left path, I can't remember what happens there.
It'll destroy all the aliens.
Probably.
I don't know. I can't really remember. And if you go down the middle, only humans survive.
No, if you go down the middle,
race.
If you go down the middle,
so it's control the Reapers, destroy the Reapers, or synthesis, merge all organic and synthetic.
That's it.
life.
If you go on the left one, the Reapers stay, and you can control them, right? You can do stuff with them. But it will end the war. But I don't know. It doesn't sound very good. If you go down the middle, it combines synthetic and organic life. So everybody, so all the synthetics will become alive, and they're all happy, and
your toaster will be your best friend.
Yeah, and you all have green shit going through your skin for some reason, and
nice.
Everybody's green.
Lovely.
So yeah, that's the choice. I went down the middle last time, and I went down the middle again. I don't know why, but I guess that's fine. So that's what I did, and they've got to end it, I suppose, is the problem, isn't it? That's the problem with the game, is that it's so epic, it's so big. They've got to end it, and no matter what they do, I feel like, I don't know, Duke, do you think they could have done a better job with the story? I don't know.
I think they could have. I don't know what I would suggest about it right now because it's been so long since I've consumed the story, but I do know that, a lot of stories, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy did such a good job of having a monumental cataclysm and then starting right back where we began. You know what I mean? And I feel like they're kind of shooting for something like this. The Matrix third movie does that. A lot of movies do that, or a lot of stories do that, where it's like, we're going to have something amazing and huge and unbelievable, but also nothing's changed.
Yeah,
And
well,
it's
that's like the
very
Dark
difficult thing to
Tower, isn't it?
do.
Have you read that?
I haven't, so I can't
No,
say.
the Dark Tower ends exactly the same, so it's kind of like...
And to me, that's
it's
kind of a
all begins
letdown. It
like
feels like a
cycle.
cop-out. It's like, dude, have something huge or have it be nothing ultimately changes. Like, you can't have both. Again, Hitchhiker's Guide, I think, did a very good job of having it both ways, but it's rare that you can really achieve that.
Yeah, that you can get away with it. But it's still a great series of games. Let's not say that's not mistaken.
And last thing I'll say about the ending is this. A lot of great stories involve some sacrifice. And yes, there is some sacrifice along the way in Mass Effect as well. And I'm not necessarily saying this about Mass Effect because I don't remember it well enough. But I think a lot of storytellers want to do away with that need for sacrifice and instead provide a sense of constancy. Like, you love these people and we're not going to make you miss any of them. Or just
well,
one
to
or
be
two.
fair, they were, because if I remember rightly from the original ending of Mass, you didn't know whether Shepard was alive or dead. They kind of left it a bit ambiguous, didn't they? From what I can remember.
And I don't necessarily mean Shepard. I just mean that.
Yeah, Duke's talking about like the characters along the way, like kill some off, make it.
Oh well, he
the thing is
did.
that, like,
Tally died in mine.
Right. Again, there are some along the way. I don't know. Like, I feel like.
And obviously,
my
I shot
favorite
Ashley and
stories, some of
killed
the
her,
most
which was
important
horrendous.
stories. Darth Vader can't live, right? Like, Darth Vader has to. Spoilers. At the end of Empire, Darth Vader has to go, and so that's the kind of sacrifice that there are sacrifices kind of like that in Mass Effect. But that's the other thing about a video game versus a non-video game story is that you get to kind of choose who's going to live and die, which is weird. And I don't know. It means that there isn't a canon story. So whatever.
I don't know whether that's true because I'll be honest with you, the Ashley moment was a shocker for me. And it kind of felt organic. It didn't feel like it was telegraphed or...
No, I'm not saying it's not organic. I'm saying there isn't one story.
No, true. I mean, obviously, it makes a big difference for me, though, because Chinny had her in his crew. Well, she's not even alive in my story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'd taken her to the... Do you know what made it worse, Chinny? I forgot about this. When I was looking for the shore leave email, I had an email off Ashley saying, "Oh, I'm still in Memorial Hospital, but I'm feeling a bit better, but I'm going stir crazy. Why don't you just pop down and say hello or something?" And that made me feel even worse because I just shot her in the belly and killed her. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it's not even like she was killed by another character or an enemy or, something like that. I killed her. It was me. I killed her. And I felt so bad. But I didn't, I mean, I could have gone back.
You should, you murderer.
I know. I could have gone back to a save and done it over. But I thought, no, I'll stand by my actions. I did it. And I honestly didn't realize when I did the Renegade thing, that I was going to kill her. But yeah, I still feel
it just
bad
shows
now.
you have to be careful. With great renegade
but that's
power
what I
comes great
like. I like
responsibility.
that. But I like that because you're saying it's like it doesn't feel like there's any.
I've just thought about it while you've been waffling about whatever. So
Thanks,
because the ending is everybody becomes friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I know one of the choices is to destroy the Reapers, but at the cost of destroying all synthetics. But maybe the end of the game, it leads you to pick those three options. Whereas I felt like the game should have just all these three games. That's what you've been picking, and at the end you don't have a choice.
Right.
So
You've
like
made
for
your
me,
choices. And that's right. That's kind of like what we saw in, there was a game that was like that. Like you built along the way. And then by the time you reach the end, like you couldn't switch it. So I don't remember what game it is.
So like for me, really because I've been Renegade for most of all three games, it should have like tallied up the points. It's like, well, you've got like 80 Renegade points on one,
right?
85 on two, and like 90 on three. So therefore, you qualify in this tier of you are going to kill all synthetics. Right. That means that means Edie would die for Joker.
Yeah.
That means all that stuff, and you don't have a choice anymore. But it cops out. Mass Effect cops out because it gives you the choice at the end, which makes all your choices before it meaningless. So what the game should have done, the game about choice should have at the end taken the choice away, because that's what you've been doing all along. That's how they could have made the game better.
But here's the other thing. Right. And in general, that's what games are unwilling to do when it comes to morality meters. So take Fallout 3, for example, a game we've all played. At one point, as you know, you can blow up Megaton or you can save Megaton.
Yeah.
But the effects are pretty much the same either way you go. You get a nice home in a community with shops nearby, and it's either going to be in Tenpenny Tower or it's going to be in the town of Megaton. And maybe you have to live with the guilt of having blown up a town, or I don't know what you do in Tenpenny Tower. I killed the old man.
I fucked up everything because I blew up Megaton. And then I let the ghouls take over Tenpenny Tower.
The ghouls take over right. So, but my point is, I think it should be like, okay, look, if you're gonna save the town of Megaton, like, if you're gonna be evil like Tenpenny and blow up Megaton, he should reward you with a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like that ought to come with a big benefit. But a lot of times they don't want to incentivize people going down that evil route, so that you'll have approximately the same outcome in either path you take. And I think that's bogus.
It's funny that you bring that example up, actually, because I hadn't really played a game like Fallout 3 before I played it. I was sort of comparing it to games like GTA. So when you do a big mission for a character in GTA, they will have a follow-up mission going, that shit was crazy. So, and I did that thing for Tenpenny. I blew up Megaton. I was like, I've done it. And then I go up to him after and he's like, what do you want? What do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I literally just fucking blew up the whole thing.
Sure.
So now I was so angry.
GTA has always done a better job with narrative follow-up.
I was so angry.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I let the ghouls take. I was like, you know what, ghouls? Fucking kill him, because he's annoying.
That is funny. That's funny.
Because he didn't give me proper respect for doing what he said.
Correct.
Exactly. What I was going to add was, it also, in addition to all the other stuff you've said, it almost makes the Renegade Paragon thing
pointless.
Almost pointless. Yeah, there's no reason for it.
There should be a bracket of points for, like, if you've got this many Paragon points, you get this ending where everybody's
wanker if you get this
everybody's
stuff,
like you control the Reapers. If you're in the middle, then everybody's happy. If you're a renegade like me, then you fucking killed all your synthetic friends, but humans are the best, and fuck everybody else.
Yeah, humans are best.
So
let me ask a question, though. Here's a question. If you destroy all synthetics, that would also include yourself.
Well, yeah.
Wouldn't it? Because you're mainly all synthetic.
Yeah.
So
there you go. So maybe if you was a renegade, you killed yourself.
Alexa.
Yeah. So you kill yourself at the same time.
If you was good, then, maybe if you pick the good choices, you live, but then you die by falling off a small curb on the street.
Yeah. Step out in front of a bus.
And the lesson is, don't be nice. Right at the end, it says the credits, and it goes, don't be nice. You could fall off a curb.
Yeah, be horrible. Be horrible.
Anyway, I've finished that.
I'll hopefully finish it by next week.
It's been fun, though, Stu. It's been...
do you know what? It's been... And I hate to say it.
What a ride.
It's been quite refreshing to play a game like this again.
That's good.
One that you totally invested in and like, I really like this.
Yeah. Remember when games were good?
Exactly. It's a while since I felt like this playing a game, weirdly. Yeah. And it's a game I'm playing for the second time. Yeah. Which is just quite crazy, really.
Anyway, we'll move on. That's my first
done. Back over to you, Duke.
Yeah. So last week I talked about this game Pegglin, which was an RPG with Peggle combat. Weird and stupid as that sounds. And so we were talking about Peggle, and I mentioned that I hadn't played Peggle since it was first a thing 100 years ago. And so I thought, you know what? Let's go see if it stands up. I don't know that it stands up, to be honest. I mean, I played it again, the demo for Peggle Deluxe. And it's Peggle. I mean, it's not bad. It's just... And it was significantly more entertaining than that Pegglin game because it was, you're right, fun to look at, and you don't have to clear all the pegs. I forgot about this. Some of them are orange, and you got to clear all the orange ones. But it's just hitting pegs, and you just sit and watch the ball bounce around. And
It's quite satisfying, though.
It's
isn't
hitting
it?
pegs, though.
I'm not saying it's not satisfying. It just didn't hold my interest. After 3 levels, I was like, all right, I am so done with this.
Yeah, see, I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't
well,
play.
that's
I
the
do
point,
play
he's
it.
playing it
I
now.
just don't know.
Yeah, I do
don't know
play
if
it every
you would
now
love
and
it
again.
now.
Yeah, no, I have played it. Not well. I say not long ago. It's probably about 2 years ago.
17 years ago.
Okay, that's
But
fine.
yeah, I have played it 2
Okay.
years ago. Fairly
And
recently.
how long did you play it for? 2 years.
I didn't.
ago?
I must admit, I didn't play it as much as I did the first time.
I mean,
around.
yeah,
That
but you're
is
talking
true.
about Shu here, who drops a game quicker than a fucking
after
hot
about 5
potato.
seconds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I mean, whatever. Look, hey, lots of games are games of their time. Oblivion is not nearly as amazing now as it was then because we have Skyrim now. So whatever, it's fine. I gave it another shot. Peggle was great back in the day. It's not as much fun now.
Yeah, and some
so
people say that Red Dead 1, like Red Dead Redemption, the first one in 2010, is not as good as it is now. They're insane because it's just as good.
It's still a good game. I played that not so long ago, and it's still good.
Idiots.
Anyway, so that's that.
Peggle.
And I played
Peggle.
another game called The Wandering Kingdom. This was the game that I
interesting.
put
You
Rocket
mean
League
the
aside
Wandering
for
Village.
because-
The Wandering Village.
The Wandering Village.
Sure, let's call it that. I don't remember what it's called.
Well, that's what you put.
I wrote Kingdom down in the notebook and Village down on the thing, so I don't remember what
Ah.
it is. Yeah. So I'll tell you what, I can look it up. I think because I probably
It is
have
the Wandering
still
Village.
on the. Okay, the Wandering Village. Yeah. So this is a demo that is for a game that's not out yet. It is. This is the one I put. Yeah, because I've been playing a lot of Rocket League this way. It's just every day. I was just so wiped out. I was like, I just can't think about anything. I don't want to learn any new mechanics. Just give me what I know. So, yeah, Wandering Village. It starts off with this like 5-second cinematic, which is all you need really. The spores had killed half of humanity or whatever. We were looking for somewhere to live. We never expected what we found. That was it. That was all the narration at the beginning. And what you find is this like enormous dinosaur thing with a very flat back, and you live on its back.
Oh, okay.
So that's the difference here is that whereas it's a city builder, just like every other city builder that's ever been created, village builder, because it's,
But you're
medieval
living on
style.
top of a dinosaur.
You're living on top of this dinosaur called Obu Dobu, whatever it's called.
Oh,
Obu, I
okay.
don't remember what it's called. And the twist is skip ahead, so you're actually showing the villagers making things instead of this research tree. So the twist is that the thing's walking around, and eventually you can develop tech to like communicate with it, like order it to go this way or that way, because there's this map that the thing is walking along, and it's apparently procedurally generated, infinite. I don't know, but it's the type of thing where you can tell it go this way or that way, and like it moves through different biomes. And that matters because you have, instead of, there's no rivers or lakes to get water from. So you have this device that condenses the air, and you get water from condensing the air. But when you go through a desert, ain't no water from the air because it's all dry. So you have to hope that your water lasts. And meanwhile, you're trying to get your little Orbu Dobu monster to run faster to go through the desert. But he's hot and tired, so he don't want to run. So that's an
Tell you
interesting
what,
dynamic.
this must be an enormous dinosaur.
It's very, very big.
It must be enormous.
Yes.
You see, I was expecting. I've been reading Mortal Engines recently, and
Yes.
that's about
Neil
cities
Gaiman.
and towns on wheels and tracks
Right.
and stuff
Not Neil
moving
Gaiman.
around,
Who wrote that? That's not Neil Gaiman.
eating each other.
Yes.
And I was expecting to be more like that. I was expecting this village on wheels or something now, because obviously that's
Philip
what's in my
Reeve.
head. Yeah, it's good.
Right,
I'm
no.
on the second book.
Okay. Well, that's not this. This is different.
No, it definitely
Anyway.
is. This is definitely a dinosaur.
Right. So the other thing is that unlike Banished and many city builder games or village builders, you can't replant trees. Most of these games have a like a forester job, and you have a person who goes around replanting trees after you harvest them down for wood. That doesn't happen here. So once you cut down some trees, they're basically gone. And I didn't play it long enough to see if some come back.
Maybe they grow back.
So
Maybe
does
they
the
do, but-
dinosaur move? Does it move?
Yes,
or-
it's constantly moving. I should have mentioned that earlier. My bad. I did.
Because he
So,
looks stationary, so I was like, oh.
Well, sometimes he's stationary, like when he's sleeping.
Oh, I see. So he's sleeping at the moment.
Yes.
Does that make a
And
difference when he's
sometimes-
moving? Does it shake and stuff? Does it make it harder to build? Or
Oh
something?
yeah. It doesn't make it hard to move, but you can zoom out and you can see like the stuff going by. You go to the edge and it's just like stuff passing by you, and you can look at the world map and see it traveling and stuff. So it's an interesting dynamic in terms of the aesthetics. It doesn't
I
really
like the
change.
aesthetics, I must admit.
Oh,
I think it
wow.
looks good.
I didn't know that you like the aesthetics. How about that?
Yeah, I do like the aesthetics. I think it looks cool.
Oh, you didn't seem like a person who's interested in aesthetics.
No,
So
I
anyway-
know. You'd never know, would you?
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's interesting. It does. It's not just an aesthetic thing. It is, like I said, it does have an effect on the gameplay because you go to this biome or that biome, and it becomes more difficult or easier if depending on whether the biome is hospitable. The controls are excellent. There was some trouble getting berries gathered at one point. Some of the mechanics a little wonky here and there, but that's the way it is with every game. The one thing that was annoying is that you have a lot of buildings, and I suppose if I played it enough, I would be able to know by looking at them which building is which. But in Banished, you build a church, it's got a big cross on it or something. It's very distinctive as a church. You know what I mean? These buildings kind of all look similar to each other, so it's kind of hard to tell which building is which. So if you remember where you built this building or that building, and there's a bunch of them as soon as you get started, like you're putting up 10 different kinds of buildings right away. So
well, surely
I don't know,
they each have a purpose, though. They must all.
Oh, they do each have a purpose, but that's the thing. If you want to find your kitchen to switch production to a different food, you better hope you remember where you put your kitchen or which one is
what
the
it
kitchen.
looks like, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe helpful.
Right. It would be nice if they were a little more differentiated, but again, that's a pretty minor thing. The reason that I reached a point where I thought I was done is because, in addition to all the other frustrations that go on in this game, which are standard to this genre, starvation, disease coming, people being idle or unhappy or whatever, there's also certain times when your uber-duber, your dinosaur fella, walks through some poison spores.
Ooh.
And those poison spores infect the trees and bushes on his back, which then get your villagers sick. And so you start getting these messages that are like, your villagers are sick. And they have this counter of like how many plants on his back are poisoned. And it starts at like 20. And then before I realized what was going on, there was 50. And then I'm like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? Right. And then it goes, you can have workers destroy the infected trees, or you can use a decontamination center. And I was like, decontamination center, what's that? And apparently there's a building that I could have built long ago that would watch for that and take quick action. Well, I didn't even have one. So by the time I built one, we're up to 300 plants that are infected.
Oh my God.
And more and more people are sick. And I keep getting these warnings in the corner that are like, your people are sick, help them. I'm like, what am I supposed to do to help them? And then it became 500, and then it was 1,000, and it was 1,200, and my people are running around trying to burn down the poison trees, and they're getting sick. And I was just like, this is not going to end well.
I just want to say, f this game. I'm done.
So I quit.
Wow. Oh no. He's mean to you.
I mean, here's the thing. Look, I wrote this, and they have a little feedback thing in the game, and I wrote this to the developers, so more power to them. And they had this and when it starts up, there's this very cute picture of the developing team, and they look like they're having a lot of fun. And I wish them great success. I enjoyed this game while I was playing it. I felt like the dinosaur moving around was an interesting twist on the village builder formula, but the poison thing just made it not fun. And I mean, maybe if I played it through it again, I would know to prepare for that.
Well, you'd be ready for it the second time through, wouldn't you? That's the whole point. It's like trial and error, isn't it? To an extent.
Maybe I would be, but that's the thing is I don't really like playing these kinds of games as roguelikes.
So I don't know whether it's a rogue. I guess a little bit.
I died and I had to start over from
well,
scratch.
I guess, but that's
what a roguelike is.
I suppose what these games
anyway.
don't really have like. The problem I have with these games, like you get into them and then they never have an end, do they? They sort of
no, they're continually going.
It's a way of combating.
It's very
that,
rare you find a stranded deep among all the rusts and Minecraft.
Here's a question, Duke. Here's a question, though, Duke.
What's the question?
So you're basically saying, right, that your problem was that you had a choice between building this decontamination center or chopping down the trees or burning and whatever it is you did to get rid of them. Why didn't you try that first when there was only 50 trees or something?
Well, as soon as I realized that I needed to start dealing with this poison, I did send people out to burn down the trees.
All right, so you did that
But
as well as try and build a decontamination
they couldn't
center.
do it
Fair
fast
enough.
enough. Yeah.
So that's pointless then, I guess.
Right. I mean, that's the sense I got, is that, and maybe one, as soon as the other thing is maybe I needed to be watching the map. That's the thing, is like it's hard to know what I was supposed to have been doing. You know what I mean? Because the game didn't really walk me through it. And again, that's okay. Maybe it's supposed to be done as a roguelike. I don't know. But I just found like it was, and here's the thing. Look, I never had this problem with Banished. A lot of people, when they play Banished, which was the first really great village builder game, Banished, a lot of people said like disease comes through and it just kills everybody in your thing. You have to start all over. I never had that problem, to be honest. I never reached that point with Banished. So, maybe I got lucky, or who knows.
Well, let me ask you one more question before we move on.
Go ahead.
Okay. How long did it take to get to the point where the spores killed all your people, would you say? How long have you played it for?
Probably about an hour.
So it's not that big an investment to play for another hour, and obviously...
Well, I'll tell you what. This demo is free on Steam. Why don't you go ahead and play it?
No, I'm not bothered because I don't like these games. But I'm just saying,
well,
for someone like you, who puts countless hours into Rocket League and countless hours into Skyrim,
yeah, because
it's a spec, man. It's a minuscule speck on your gaming time.
Well, I'm glad you think so.
Well, it is.
But to me, it might seem like a spec, but an hour is an hour, and I don't want to put another hour into this particular game. I'd rather play Rocket League with that hour. So you play what you would like to play, and I'll play what I would like to play.
I guess it's probably not coming across as well. It could do, but the point I'm making is, if you were a player and you'd bought this game and that happened, it would be only an hour of your time. It's not like you've been playing it for 15 hours and then that happened.
You're right. It would not be like.
Do you understand what I mean? It's like, perspectively, it's only an hour of time, which isn't a huge amount in video game time, really.
It depends on what you're doing during that hour. But anyway, the point is that I had some fun with this, and other people might really like it. If you do give it a try, watch out for the poison spores. Build a decontamination center as soon as you get started. And give it a shot.
Be prepared.
Free demo on Steam. You can't go wrong with free.
No, you can't. Chinny, back over to you.
Okay. So I played a little bit of Red Dead Online.
Okay.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute since I played Red Dead Online.
Did they wipe all your gold out, or do you still have $70 worth of gold?
I got like 56 gold when I loaded it up, so...
Yeah, that's what I was mostly doing when I stopped playing, was like grinding for gold. And then I reached a point where I had like $30 worth of gold. I'm like, what am I even doing with this?
Yeah. I think, I'm not sure why I put it on. It's because it's like
it seems so long since you played this. What was the daily quest? Was the one when you
but I can't remember how to play the bloody game now. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, what do I do? You know,
what's this controller?
But like, I mean, the controls, it's themselves that I got back into, but it's the systems, it's like, how do I find all this? Like, what do I do again? Like, because I became like a pretty good, like, hunter, sort of gatherer of pelts and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, how do I even do that?
That's your age, Chinny, that is.
And then I remember buying into the moonshine thing and buying a moonshine license and then not really getting into it. So...
I was the same way.
You
can only travel. And the thing with Moonshine bugged me because it was like I was so careful when I was transporting it. I would stop as soon as I saw a red dot on the mini map, shoot everybody to death, and then start up again. And like I'd bump a rock, and it was like, you lost 10% of your motherfuckers. God damn it.
But I only played it for a bit, and I got a couple of bits of daily quests, and that was it. But the game, I have played a new game.
A new game.
Okay, what's the new game?
The game is available on Game Pass. The game is called Trek to Yomi.
I feel like I've heard of
this. Is it a cooking game? Like you're trekking toward Yomi?
No, the game is a 2D side-scrolling samurai game.
Oh, that's Chinny's wheelhouse.
Nice.
So I do like my samurai.
Yes, I have seen this. I've seen it on Game Pass.
So the first thing that strikes you immediately about the game is that it's very, very stylistic. It is a 2D side-scrolling game, but as you can see here, this is like one of the opening scenes of the game, and you are walking towards the camera, and it's really, really cool how things come in, and it's all black and white, and
that is cool.
I assume the whole game's not black and white.
Yeah, the whole game is black and white.
It almost
Really?
looks like a stop motion animation, doesn't it?
Huh.
I really like that.
Yeah, I think the whole game is black and white. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it.
That's an interesting.
The whole game is subtitled as well. There's no English.
Wow, that's not good for you.
It's fine. I don't mind that. So anyway, yeah, you start off as a young boy. It's a very typical sort of samurai story. Young boy, master gets killed, fuck everything up.
Oh,
blah, blah, blah,
snap!
blah.
It's revenge time now.
So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty linear game. So it's kind of like, I'm going to say a weird comparison here, but I suppose you can see it a little bit. Is sort of think like Limbo or Inside, mixed in with a bit of samurai combat. And it's really, really cool. Like every shot that you get it just holds up really well. You know, it just looks good. You know what I mean? You just like.
Is
wow,
it? Can I ask a question? Is it as hard as nails? Is it like Hotline Miami hard, or is it just standard?
It's not too difficult. So the combat is probably one of the weakest things about the game. Unfortunately, you have a sort of a light attack, a heavy attack. You have some, darts that you can throw, and I've just unlocked a bow and arrow, which is just hold the right trigger and shoot it. So as the game is developing, it is throwing in a few things here and there, and it's throwing in like a finisher, but you very rarely use it. And the other cool thing as well is that like there's a lot of like missed opportunities in the game if you're not careful. So there's a lot of secret things that it's all one way, it's all linear, but there are very, very, very subtle rooms that you can easily miss if you're not careful, and they lead to upgrades. So upgrades that you could have missed, like upgrades like the capacity of your bow and arrow or whatever, So yeah, it's pretty interesting. It looks amazing.
It does look incredible. I love the aesthetics of it. It looks great.
Some of the boss fights are tricky. Like you get a few boss fights because the parry isn't as sort of responsive as sort of I would like it. Really, I don't think it's. I don't know. It's not. It's not that it's bad. I just think that the parry is like there's a little glow on the enemy sword when you can use it, and it doesn't have this like sort of satisfying clink to it, or the time is just off,
like
or
a signal that you've pulled it off, sort of.
Yeah, but there is another parry that I've just unlocked where you can swap sides. So you think about it like Street Fighter. Do you know what I mean? Like you're stuck on one side when you're fighting, but if you parry and push forward, you go to the other side. You parry through them, and that's really, really cool. That looks great. But the game is polished and nice. I'm on chapter 3, and there are 7 chapters. I played for about an hour and a half. Yeah, I would say it's pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it. Definitely, if you're enjoying like Ghost of Tsushima or something like that, that's what they're going for here.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. I must admit, I do like the look of it.
Yeah,
and a whole lot of samurai games lately. That's an interesting.
Yeah, it's just a cool looking era, isn't it? It's a cool. Game. It's very easy to game.
It's always been cool. I'm curious why now. Like
I don't know. I mean, like things like zombies and things. They all come in trends, don't they? It's almost like they all think of it at the same time, or one comes along and then like 7 come along.
Interesting. Ex Machina and Her came out the same year.
Yeah, so it's just this idea. I feel like everybody sort of gets inspired by the same things, not necessarily, not necessarily by by copying, but everybody sort of thinks like everybody watched The Matrix. Is like, well, what if there's another story to tell with AI, or whatever. And maybe Ghost of Tsushima has been out for a while now. So and the launch trailer for that came out a long time ago. So maybe they took note from that and was like, we should definitely go in a harder direction of just make it all black and white. Bolder choices, do you know what I mean? They didn't wuss out and make it color or English or anything like that. They said, no, this is, it's all Japanese. It's all
traditional samurai.
And I love the sort of samurai games, and I think they're great. And it's good. It's just, it makes you feel like you're playing like a...
It does look good. I like it.
It almost looks photoreal. Like
I say even the shadows on the ground. I say it looks more to me like a stop motion animation. It's like that's what it looks like.
Some of the cutscenes are so impressive, I was like, wow, like that looks so good for like a little indie game. Not quite sure how little of an indie game it is, but it is on Game Pass, and yeah, as I say, I've probably played it about 2 hours now, and it's all right. It's available on obviously the Game Pass, but it's on PlayStation 4 and 5. It's on Windows or Steam or whatever. And I'm just trying to find out about the developer. The developer is Flying Wild Hog. And they've made Shadow Warrior.
Oh, of course. They're quite renowned games, you know.
Shadow Warrior it's sort of like it's like a turn-based tactical.
Yeah, I remember that being quite big when that came out.
Yeah, well, there was a first-person sword game called Shadow Warrior, I think, but it's had a bunch over the years.
Yeah,
I think it was the remake that I was thinking of. So
yeah, I'm sure. Oh yeah, no, Shadow Warrior is a first-person.
Yeah, that's that brutal first-person.
Total War, maybe.
No, I'm thinking of something else. So I'm just gonna get some gameplay of Shadow Warrior.
But they released Shadow Warrior 3. Was that last year?
Shadow Warrior 3 was 2016.
Oh God, is that long ago? Christ Almighty! I thought that was fairly recent. Hell's teeth. Where does time go? I'm 50, by the way.
Yeah.
Where does time go? Good God.
So I've never heard of Shadow Warrior really.
Yeah, it's brutal. So, I played the first one. It's very graphic.
Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, I've never seen it. It looks great though. So they obviously know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, I don't know why they've gone in this direction though. Like because Shadow Warrior looks like a.
Oh, it's proper in your face, mental.
They probably want to do something a little different from time to time.
Well, more serious, I guess, because this game looks a lot less.
Shadow Warrior looks like a mix between. Why have I never heard of this game? It's great.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so good. It's ridiculous violence and.
I think you'd like this one, Chinny.
Yeah, definitely. It is very.
I only played half of one of them. I think they rebooted the original, but there's some interesting.
Shadow Warrior.
Very bloody.
Has 3 come out?
Yeah. Maybe it's not 3's not out yet.
Oh, 3's not out. Right.
I knew it was coming.
Okay. 3's not out.
I
remember the one I bought.
Oh no, it's out.
Is it out? When did it come out?
Y'all figure it out. Let me talk. The one that I got, there's so much blood on the screen all the time. There is this other game that came with it, which I never played, but it was called Viscera Cleanup Detail. And apparently your job was to follow around behind a person and just clean up all the blood and guts and eyeballs and shit.
I like that. Sorry. Let me get my pegs in order here.
Get stuff sorted out. Come on.
So
give us a proper fact.
Shadow Warrior 1 came out in 2013. Shadow Warrior 2 came out in 2016, and Shadow Warrior 3 came out March 2022. So it came out this year.
I thought I didn't realize it had come out. I knew it was due any time.
I have never heard of this game really. I thought it was something else. But it looks like a mix between Doom, Shinobi, and fucking something else. I don't know. Bulletstorm. So, yeah, I think
it's all kind of fucked up.
I want to play it.
I think you should play this and tell us what you think. It seems you like this other game. You should do it. You might have to buy it though.
Chinny's found a new favorite dev.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know. It just looks. I'm shocked that I've never heard.
Look, this bit's like Uncharted, except you're hanging on a corpse.
Yeah, it looks bonkers. So
it's bonkers.
It is bonkers.
Lovely stuff. The developer are based in Warsaw, and
what in the UK?
No.
Oh, Warsaw.
Poland. Warsaw.
All right, I thought you said Warsaw.
Not Warsaw.
Like, what in the UK?
No, Warsaw.
Yeah. Now I get you.
What else have they worked on? Like Hard Reset? I've never really heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard of that. That's like a mech game, isn't it?
Hard Reset. Don't know. But anyway, back to Yomi. They've obviously scaled down the ideas for this. It's just a very simple 2D linear combat game. It's good. I enjoyed it. And I'll definitely be finishing this one up. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a long game.
Yeah, so, and then playing Shadow Warrior 3 maybe.
Yeah, Hard Reset sort of looks like a bit like Doom. A lot of polish on it though. It looks pretty good. So
yeah, these guys know how to make a first person.
They know. Why is no one talking about these bloody games?
I know that's what happens. That's what happens. Games. There's too many of them, Chinny. That's the problem.
Too many of them. So.
Too many bloody games. Right. I will take the last game this evening, or has Duke said of all his? Yeah, he has. Oh no, he's talked about. I've not talked about Patrick's ParaBox yet, Duke.
And I got something else to talk about too. That's not on the list. But go ahead.
Oh, okay, that's not on your list, but we'll give it you.
It's not, whatever. Go ahead.
Final thing I've played this week is Switch Sports, which came out in the last couple of weeks. Really, it's very recent. Recent game, new game.
Yeah.
For a change. So Millie's boyfriend Adam bought it for his Switch. So I didn't. I'm not stupid enough to buy one of these games.
Of course not.
Price. Far too expensive. But he did. He did, and everyone will remember back in the day we all played Wii.
So you calling him stupid, yeah?
Yep. We all played Wii Sports because it was one that everybody could play, including Grandma.
It was the one.
Grandma can play it as well because she knows what to do. So I played 3 of the games in this. There's 6 available.
Yeah.
In fact, sorry, I played 4. I said 4 of them. Which was 10-pin bowling obs, which is very much like the one in Wii Sports. It's almost identical, really. Just looks a bit shinier. Works quite well, I've got to say, with the Switch remotes and stuff. And what was quite interesting, though, is they've got this weird system. Now, normally in these types of games, when you hold the trigger in to hold the ball, to hold the bowling ball, and as you swing, you let go of the trigger and that releases the ball or whatever, is what I thought would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sure.
But obviously what they've done is to make it easier for Grandma. Easier. You literally hold the trigger and just bowl. You don't have to release it or anything. It just sort of releases on its own, if you will.
Maybe because they figured out that people, that's why people keep throwing things in their fucking TV, Stu.
Yeah, maybe. But it's a bit weird. It feels really weird because you swing your arm and the amount of times I let go of the trigger and he goes, and you just drop the ball on the floor.
Yeah, which is what you do in real bowling.
Exactly. He's like, don't release the trigger. Keep hold of the trigger. I'm like, right, okay. So I did eventually get the hang of it, and it was pretty good. Adam won. He got a 5-bagger. Like, you know what I mean? He's got a 5-bagger he got, which is 5 stripes on the trot.
Business.
5-bagger. So he won that. And then we played some badminton. So we played badminton, and that was pretty good. Badminton was okay.
Yeah.
He's like, hitting it hard and all that kind of stuff. So that was quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
Tennis. So we played a bit of tennis, which is weird because obviously if there's only 2 of you playing, you get 2 AI characters, and it's always doubles. So you don't play singles in tennis. It's always doubles, whether there's 4 of you or not. You would have to have a massive living room to play 4 people because you know what I mean. You need a lot of room.
Well, you do all right, Stu. So.
Do all right. Played some volleyball, which was Millie and Adam played volleyball. I didn't partake in the volleyball, which looked fine. I've got to say, it was good. You can spike. It makes you do this big tutorial for every player.
Yeah.
Because you've obviously it does. This one is not for Grandma because there's so much to remember. Of all the different types of shots and what you've got to do differently each time to do it. So we did that. That was kind of cool. And I'm trying to figure, is that all of the ones we played? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. We didn't play the football because there's football obviously as well. So yeah, it was a bit weird. So it's kind of cool. I really liked it. So yeah, I don't know whether I'd have paid full price for it because there's only 6 games. I feel like there was more on Wii Sports. How many were on Wii Sports? Don't know. Can't remember. But there's 6 altogether. So yeah, it's good. Grandma could do the bowling, but other than that, it's probably a bit tricky. A bit tricky.
5 sports simulations on Wii Sports.
Oh, was there? So there was one less. What was on that then? So you got bowling,
tennis, baseball, bowling, golf, and boxing.
Oh, baseball. Oh, boxing. Oh, I used to love the boxing on that. Yeah, there's no boxing on this. So yeah.
Okay.
And we didn't have a go with the football, so I don't know how the hell that works. It's a bit weird, isn't it? You're meant to be kicking. How do you do that with your controller? Strap it to your foot. What's going on? Don't know.
Anyway, we switched sports, right? Fun.
It's all right. It was all right.
Okay.
So over to you, Duke, I guess, for your last one.
So there's 2 things I've been playing. Not going to talk too much about either of them, but Patrick's ParaBox. I finished all all 250 levels of this
Wow,
game.
well done.
But it turns out there's 350 total.
Oh no.
Son of a bitch. I was so happy because last week I was like in the home stretch and I was like, all right, I want to finish it tonight because I'm sure they're going to be real tough at the end. So I'll wait and I'll do it. And then Monday I came home and I was like, all right, let's finish Patrick's ParaBox. I'm going to be so happy when I'm done with this. And then I looked up on the store and I was like, how many levels are there? Because I was at like 243 or something. Now let me see exactly. And then it was like, with over 350 levels, I'm like, motherfucker. So
I have a question. Why did you think you'd finished?
Because I thought it was 250.
Ah.
So that was not the case.
No.
I had to look up a hint on one of the levels because it was one of those that's done with ASCII characters. So not only you have to figure out what the hell is going on, you have to figure out what each of the pieces represents. Because it's like a 3 and a hashtag and a dot and, all this. And you're just like, what the fuck is all this? So that was very frustrating. But once I saw someone do the first step, I was like, I was in the right direction. It's that thing of like, there's 100 different paths you could go down and you don't want to spend time going down all of them.
I'm with you.
If you're not, you know what I mean? Like if you're wasting your time. Okay. So whatever. It's always annoying to have to look up a hint, but whatever. Another level that I did, I had to just keep trying different things. Like I didn't even know what I was doing really. I was just like, okay, try putting this there and then push this into it. Okay, that didn't work. Try putting the other thing in there, push that in. No, that didn't work. Try putting this thing in there, push. Okay, that worked. Now what's the next step? And it was just like, I was so annoyed. And I did it today, which is not good because my brain is not in a good place to do puzzle games. But I was just like, that said, the game continues to be very remarkable in its creativity and its innovation. They keep adding a thing and then, doing something else and adding a thing and doing something else. So, yeah. And on the level we're looking at now, when you step outside the main box, there's like an infinity sign. And that's to let you know you've left the ballpark. You've left the pitch. Like you're not supposed to be out here, right? And there's a little infinity sign to let you know that's where the game is happening. You're in outer space now. That's not right. Well, the set of levels I'm doing now, you actually use that infinity sign box. And it gets even more complicated because now it's not just recursive things within themselves, but it's also like all of everything is in that box. And so the question is, where do you put that box in relation to the other boxes? So when you push something out of one of the boxes, it goes out into infinity. It's just so weird. And then I was trying to figure out one of those levels, and I actually somehow created a second infinity box. It had 2 infinity signs, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? How can there be 2 infinities? What the shit? So it's getting to the point where I'm like, I really kind of want it to be over because I'm losing my mind in a way when I play this game. But on the other hand, it makes the solving of the levels, when I know what's going on in them, even more rewarding. So that's Patrick's ParaBox. And then the other thing I've been playing is, for some reason, I was like, I want to go back to Rust. It's been a minute. Let's dive in again.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And what he was doing there, by the way, just pushing the box over and over and over again, doing nothing with it. That's how you feel sometimes, because you're just, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing the box into infinity.
So what does Rust look like in 2022?
Well, it's very, very polished. It's very, very here's why I went back to it, because they posted an update about trains. They have put train tracks around the map now,
right.
And you can like build trains. But here's the thing. Rust was fun back in the day when a group of us played together, and I made my tower and people could find my tower, and then I'd share resources and y'all would, it's like with Valheim, it's like, Minecraft, like it's fun to play with other people. Rust was never designed as a game for solo players. And at this point it's become not impossible to play solo, but it's just not fun because, well, and the game that I played, the server I was playing on, it has zombies and it has, I don't know, it seems like it had more wolves than usual because I kept getting killed. And when you die, you're usually carrying a bunch of stuff. And in particular, I was carrying a bunch of scrap. Now, scrap is important because scrap, well, you know what I should do? I should build near the outpost. Anyway, scrap is this stuff that allows you to research better tech. So if you want a gun, you can't just build a gun. You can build a, kind of early on, you can build a nail gun, but it doesn't do much damage. If you want an actual gun, you have to use the research tree to, get that tech. And the point is, you go around knocking in barrels. 5 barrels will get you like 10 pieces of scrap. In order to research, a pickaxe, you need like 150 pieces of scrap. So there's so much running around and opening barrels, and you go to the recycler and you dump in the stuff you don't need and you get like 20 scrap out of that. And it feels like this grind that serves no real purpose. And I realized I wasn't having fun. Like I kept getting all my stuff took, and I was playing on one server where I would build a thing, and then you have this tool cabinet and you have to put in resources to keep the thing built. So look, this helps servers, because if people show up, build houses, and then leave forever, it has to keep that house, showing up on people's screens, and it causes resources for the server to get eaten up. So instead, they created this decay function whereby you build a house, you have a tool cabinet, you put wood and stone in the tool cabinet in order to cover your base, and it'll be protected for 2 days or whatever.
Right.
Okay, fine. So that way things auto decay if no one's keeping them up, and then your server doesn't get overwhelmed with just stuff sitting around. However, the place that I built for myself, the server said, I built the tool cabinet. It said protected for 3 days. Cool. I go away, come back the next day. I'm dead. All my stuff's gone. I was like, what happened? And they go, oh, well, it's you're protected from raiding for like 30 hours. And I was like, motherfuckers. So all the work I did was just gone like that. And I was just like, you gotta be shitting me. So once you get set up, once you have a base, it's a pretty fun game. You can run around and shoot zombies, or, I do PvE, so I'm not trying to play other players. But, it's fun to go around killing zombies and, getting better stuff. But getting started is such an ass ache that it's just, I was like, I'm not having fun with this. I don't think I'm, whatever compelled me to play it back in the day, I'm not compelled to play it anymore, and I uninstalled it.
And it looks so much like Fallout or something now, some of this stuff.
Oh yeah, it's very elaborate. There's like, you can make a submarine, you got boats, you got a kayak, they got hot air balloons. There's all sorts of things you can do. But again, the problem is you can do very little of that when you're trying to beat away a wolf with a rock. You know what I mean? Like, all the stuff you're seeing comes about from a lot of work and grinding, or it'll go twice as fast if you have twice the people, because you have, once you have a workbench, then 2 of you can alternate unlocking things. But if it's just one person, you just spend forever unlocking them. So I don't know. It was designed for groups of people. The problem, as always, is that I don't have friends. And
you should have messaged Fraser. He'd have been up for it. I bet he'd still be up for a bit of Rust.
He's not leaping into the chat here talking about how much he'll play. But that's okay. You know what? I have other games. I don't need Rust. So it's just, the weird thing is I have so many fond memories of playing this game, and a lot of it is the stupid, getting started part. I think maybe I've just found some particularly punishing servers, or maybe I need to find some that are more modded or whatever. I don't know. Because there are some where, like, when you open a barrel, it'll give you 50 scrap instead of just 3. You know what I mean? So maybe I just need to find one of those, because it's like a server for people who have jobs and lives. I don't know. Yeah,
but that's what these games are, aren't they? These are just time sinks. So what it is.
Well, in some cases they are, because they want you to, microtransact. Rust has never had that.
But it's still a time sink, because that's a game loop, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, it's designed for groups of people.
Yeah.
So, and that's the paradox. If they're going to make it more satisfying for a group to grind, that makes it even more difficult for an individual.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
So, whatever. I don't begrudge the game. I've gotten, obviously, a lot of value out of this. It's just kind of frustrating that, I don't know. Again, maybe I need to find a better server.
All these underwater bases look well cool.
Well, there's a whole game based on that.
It looks ridiculously polished now.
Yeah, it does. Compared to what it was like when we very first played it.
It would not be this smooth on most people's computers. Like
Right.
it's well janky on mine, and I have it at like 50% graphics.
Right.
So there's a lot of impressive stuff, but the gameplay versus what you see on the screen here and what you would see on your screen is significantly different, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
For whatever it's
Right, before we move on, I have got some super quick news before we do the question.
Oh,
Okay.
it's been a while since we had some news. Whoops.
Putting news first.
And it is super quick news. First super quick news tonight is Gears of War maybe getting a Master Chief Collection type treatment remastered.
Okay.
Do we really want that, Chinny? Is that a thing? Duke, what do you think?
No, I couldn't care less.
No, I
I've
couldn't
never been a
really.
Halo guy.
No, it's Gears of War, Duke.
I've never been a big Gears of War guy. I played Gears of War 3 for a while and got the pants, but that's it.
Chinny?
No, yeah, I don't think we need this, do we? Because Game Pass exists and we can download every one, and Gears of War 1 got a remake, a remaster, whatever. I don't really think we need it. I don't even know what Gears 6 looks like at the moment, really. Like, what can you do with that franchise that would really surprise us?
Already been
Yeah,
done.
I think. Yeah, it's a struggle. I mean, they pulled it with Halo, but I don't really feel like Gears is where Halo is in terms of status and you know.
No, I don't, and I don't know what's the point. Because unless it's a remake, which are significantly different to the first time around,
it won't be.
It won't be.
No, it's not. Or a decent RPG like Mass Effect, which I
suppose,
it's fine.
I suppose a Gears
I don't know.
Master Collection would be you chuck in the remaster of 1, which they've already done, and then they remaster 2 and 3, and then they touch up 4 and throw in all the DLC and blah blah blah. But look, at this point, like, won't that be available on Game Pass? Like, what's the point in that? Like,
I just feel like I don't know whether it's just a money grab, isn't it?
Like, make Gears 6, but I don't know what you do with it. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do.
I feel like it's run its course, if I'm being totally honest.
Look, I know new IPs are hard, but make something new. I'd rather them have a go at something new and risk it than another Gears.
Yeah, I agree.
If that doesn't work, then make a Gears 6.
Exactly. Right, next super quick news is Elden Ring is now the US's best-selling game of last year, beating even Call of Duty Vanguard.
No.
That's pretty impressive stuff, isn't it?
It is impressive. I agree.
So 12-month period ending April 2022, Elden Ring sold more than Call of Duty.
That's pretty remarkable. I mean, but also speaks to the fact that Call of Duty has fallen the fuck off.
Oh, yeah.
How many times can you re-release the same goddamn game?
But let's not forget, I mean, when this game came out, and even Dark Souls, these are kind of niche games.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? These appeal.
They were niche. It's had a slow. It crept up,
niche.
but it's like a 10-year creep. Do you know what I mean?
It
Like,
has.
Everyone that came out, including Demon Souls and then Dark Souls 1 and 2 and 3 and Bloodborne. Like, Bloodborne was a big turning point for the series because that was like a launch game for the PS4 and not a lot out of the PS4, so that exposed a lot of people. So it's people go, oh my god, they've come so far. It's like, it's been a while though. They've built up to it.
Definitely.
It's not like they made Demon Souls and then Elden Ring. They had a long built, and like every game they've made, they've improved on and made better.
Yeah, but this is on a whole other level to anything else they've made. It's sold to date worldwide 13 million copies.
Well, it's right place, right time as well, and right
it's
game,
crazy.
and you know, it was marketed well.
I'll be honest. This, I'm the type of person who waits to hear things long term. Like the first month after a movie comes out or a game comes out, my students will not shut up about it. Everybody wants to know if I've seen the latest DC movie, like whatever. And eventually, if I keep hearing about it, I'll be like, all right, I'll check this one out. Or if there's something compelling me to check it out. Elden Ring is one of those games that has, continued to be mentioned for a while, and it's gotten so much love, and I hear things about it that make me interested. Like, I have students who know that I love Skyrim, and they're not just going to recommend anything, but one of them said, like, there's things about this I think you would like given your love of Skyrim. And then on Reddit I saw there was this whole thread about like mods that make the game a lot easier. Not just change mode, but like you can make it so that, you know, the damage from enemies is, you know, right now the standard enemy hit will do you half your damage, half your life force goes away with one hit, and you can change it so that it's like 10% or 5%. And I'm like, ooh, that makes me more interested.
Yeah, because you could have maybe more appeal to you, but then the purists would be going, "Oh, but that's not the experience.
Well, you know what?
That's
Fuck
what's
the purists. I
intended.
don't give a shit what they think.
It's not what's intended." Anyway, more super quick news. This is just a bit weird. Do you know the Halo Master Chief TV show?
Yeah.
Well, he's had sex in an episode.
Oh, yeah.
And Cortana watched it.
Yeah.
What is that all about? It's a bit weird.
Oh, that's pretty weird. Well, I mean,
yeah.
Alexa's going to be watching, aren't they? I mean, Alexa's always listening.
Yeah.
I just think it's weird, Master Chief having sex. It just seems a bit weird.
It's weird that he hasn't.
Well, it's weird that they only include it when it's time for a TV show. Like, if it's important to the character, put it in the game. If it's not, don't give me this shit about, like, well, we're trying to make it appealing to everybody. Just get out of my face with that shit.
Yeah.
Why
weird.
do you have to invent other things for the show? Like, give us what we want.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that, because some people do want to see him have sex.
Well, they must do, because he's done it. Anyway, EA's super quick news. EA's Dead Space remake gets a January 2023 release date, which I'm a bit disappointed with, if I'm being totally honest. And not because I've got to wait a bit longer, but I just feel like it should have been released, you know, on Halloween like they did with the first one. It just seems a missed opportunity. Do you know what I mean? They should have been totally aiming.
That really sort of affects sales,
for Halloween.
Though, like...
No, I don't think it'll affect sales, but wouldn't it have been nice for nostalgia for it to have released?
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been
on
nice
the same
if it was
day.
Shit, though, would it? You know what I mean?
Well, true. But you know what I mean? They should have aimed. Started sooner.
I don't really think that affects anything. So.
No, it doesn't. I'm just like, should have been Halloween though. Super quick news: Alan Wake TV show in development at AMC.
I feel like this news happens every 4 years.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Meanwhile, there's been news about Starfield or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's the next bit. All right, I'm coming.
It should be the first one. Bethesda goes first, always.
Whatever. Super quick news: Starfield and Redfall delayed till 2023.
I love how someone on Twitter wrote, well, better this than a game full of bugs. And I'm like, oh, really? You expect that Bethesda's going to release a game that's not got any bugs in it? What the fuck is wrong
It'll still have bugs in 2023, let's be honest.
I mean, I say that as a Bethesda fanboy, but come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm disappointed, but I'm not shocked.
No, who is?
You know,
who is?
It's one of them, isn't it?
I don't even know what's coming out this year now.
So what's Redfall then? What's that?
I have not a clue what Redfall is. It's just been lumped together. I don't know.
Well, it's about this guy named Red, and he just
Let me have a look. I'll tell you what Redfall is.
Every time you try to run, he
Redfall has been even quiet. Announced at Xbox show closed during E3 last year. The new game from Arcane. It's the one with the people with the powers. However, since that reveal, we've seen nothing of the game aside from some leak images. That's the one where it's vampires, isn't it? Is it vampires?
They look like they've sort of got like Jedi power. It's like kind of.
It was the one with where they were in like a shop or something.
Yeah, I got the trailer on the screen.
Yeah, and it was vampires, wasn't it? Oh, have you got it on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one. It looked quite cool. It did look kind of cool.
Yeah.
But,
I just realized something, by the way.
Go on.
I was in a bad mood at the start of the show, and now I'm in a good mood, which means y'all are good for my mood, and I don't want to admit that because it means I have to be nice to you and shit. Yeah. God damn it, I hate this shit.
Yeah, haters.
It's like with the Duchess. And I come home from school stressed and angry, and I talk to the Duchess a little bit. She makes me feel better, and it's like, I have to show respect and love to my wife now.
Good. Some more Bethesda news for you here. Super quick news. Bethesda news. Skyrim Grandma Shirley Curry would like Todd Howard to bloody hurry up and finish the Elder Scrolls 6, is what she's saying.
Yeah. Now,
Go on,
I mean,
Shirley,
look,
you tell him.
I don't want to be too mean here or show any ageism, but some of us are just eager to play the game. She may have a kind of a ticking clock in a way. Like,
yeah, exactly, man. She might be dead by the time it comes out.
I he just says it.
Leave it to Stu to just come right out.
Yeah.
She might have bloody
heart attack. Duke, I mean, you know, when you're that age,
Frank,
when you get to 50, Duke, you can't.
I guess
waste
time
about
for
that
subtleties and nuance.
Think about that stuff. Do you know what would be worse though if she had a stroke and was paralyzed down one side and then couldn't play it at all?
She could still watch people play it, but I used to think about that. Like if I was a big Star Wars, imagine being a big Star Wars fan and then like the day before episode 1 comes out. I mean, in a way, this would have saved you from the experience of having to watch episode 1. But, just not, I used to think about if I loved Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, and then like the day before Jedi came out, like I got hit by a bus or something, I'd like, no, I won't get to see it. You're also going to lose your family. I don't care about that. Star Wars.
Yeah.
There you go. Final super quick news is Sony has now shipped 19.3 million PlayStation 5s, and you still can't fucking get them for love of the money.
No.
Worldwide to date, with another 2 million shipped during the last financial quarter. However, those figures are lower than expectation by 3.3 million consoles. They wanted to ship 5 million, apparently. Following warnings by Sony, is struggling to get hold of components. So that's what they're saying. But yeah, 19 million, man.
That's
you wouldn't think it was.
Horse shit, but it's what they're saying.
I don't think, I think it is true. It's everything, isn't it? Because up until, only the last sort of month or so, you could barely get hold of a graphics card.
I'm sorry. After I learned about the light bulb conspiracy, I was like, nope, it's all artificial scarcity. I don't want to hear it. Tamagotchi, tickle me, Elroy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm just very cynical about the things these companies have to do to keep that market share going up.
I kind of understand what you're saying to an extent, but then if they could have sold another 3 million, why wouldn't you? Makes no
because
sense
it's
to me,
selling 3 million now versus selling 4 million next month.
I don't know, maybe.
You get people talking about it for a long period of time. That results in more sales overall. Whereas here's the thing. Look, if I hold out the promise of a PS5, you'll not get an Xbox because you're waiting for that thing to show up. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. It's just I don't put anything past these fuckers.
Okay. Well, on that note, that's the end of the news. So, Chinny, I'll hand over to you for the Discord questions. How about that?
Yeah, we got some Discord questions, everyone.
Where is it? Oh, here it is.
Discord.
I'm not really happy with this jingle.
Discord. Discord. So, do you want me to record a little bite so you can make a better one?
No, I'm not going to be doing that anytime soon. So, someday maybe, but not right now.
Okay. So the first question is from Fraser Moores.
Yay, Fraser.
It is, what is the worst broken game you have played?
Stanley Parable.
Yeah, actually, I know the worst broken game I've played.
Go on.
Right, and it was Half-Life 2 on the PS2. Was it Half-Life 2 or the original Half-Life? It might have been the original Half-Life.
Might have been the original one, yeah.
Original Half-Life on PS2, and it was absolutely shocking.
Shocking.
Which, for something that I don't think Valve had anything to do with the port, I think they just gave it to someone else to do the port.
Yeah.
And I just remember playing it, right? I was so excited because my mate's like, oh, I've got Half-Life on my PS2. And I'm like, oh, man, I can't wait to play that. We should go and play that. And we played it, and it was just terrible. It just, controls were weird. They changed loads of stuff to the original Half-Life, and it just didn't work properly. I can't even remember now, but I just remember it being almost unplayable.
Right.
And for such a renowned game, it was absolutely terrible.
So
I just remember it. Awful.
Yeah, I was looking through my Steam library, and I remembered one called Vox. And this is the review I wrote long ago. This game looks great. The mechanics are smooth. Unfortunately, my machine, which isn't great, but it runs Skyrim at decent settings, cannot run it with any fluidity. Slowdown is one thing, but waiting 10 seconds while the horizon is filled in, even with the settings on supreme lowness, this is unplayable. So it was a Minecraft knockoff. It was just, bad.
I can't think of one, really.
I can think of one that you played that you couldn't even finish because it was that broken.
Go on.
I can't remember what it was called now, but it was that weird, like, futuristic.
Homefront,
the Revolution.
Oh, yeah.
Homefront, the Revolution, wasn't it?
Homefront Revolution.
That was it.
It was pretty garbage.
It was I remember you talking about it. Something happened, and it was completely unfinishable.
Yeah, like a mission wouldn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't work, and it was auto save, so you couldn't even go back to a manual save or anything.
Yeah, that's right. I made a video on it, I think.
Yeah.
On the old YouTube, so yeah.
And the other one I remember being completely broken or not broken, but it was just so difficult to play, was Fear on the 360. Because on the PC version, you could save anywhere, like have a save.
Yeah.
On the 360 port version, it was auto save.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where I was fighting this big mech and I had hardly any health left and it auto saved. And that was it. So I had to keep trying to fight this mech with hardly any health left and just kept getting killed over and over again.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go back. There was no previous save to go to. And it was awful. I just remember it being terrible. Just why on earth they didn't have a save anywhere you like system on it was just beyond me.
It was a long time ago.
I know, but the PC version had it, so the fucking port should have had it.
Okay, well, that's Fraser's question. Thank you, Fraser, for that question. Much appreciated. We've got a question from Gunslinger, and he says, what is the best and worst controller you've ever used?
Controller?
Controller.
All right, okay. Wow.
I don't know if it's the best controller I've ever used, but I have really fond memories of the PS2 controller. I felt like that was a good mix of many buttons and also light. I mean, the Xbox 360 controller, or the Xbox One controller, which I use these days, is a good controller, but it's heavy as fuck. The PS2 controller had a rechargeable battery built in. It was very light, and I don't know, it just felt like it fit my hands well. So that's my answer.
I love the GameCube controller. I don't know why I always felt like it fit my hands really well. I thought it was cool. It was ahead of its time because it had 2 sticks, even though the C button was a stick.
Yeah.
The triggers felt a little bit weird, but I liked the button. It looks a bit childish, doesn't it? The GameCube controller, but
yeah,
like the buttons were designed really well because you always had your thumb on the A button, but it wasn't difficult to get to the Y. The X and the B was a big move. So like it just felt really good. It just felt like a good controller. I think probably the best controllers these days are the modern ones, so that the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 controllers are pretty much like bang on. But I think the GameCube is one of my favourite sort of nostalgic ones. I just think probably the worst one is probably the Nintendo 64. It's probably like a garbage controller. It doesn't even work really as a function. Do you know what I mean? It just is just awful.
Just awful.
It is. It doesn't even function. Like it has 3 prongs on it. You know what I mean? Like how?
Yeah,
you
I
can't
remember
even
that.
hold it.
Yeah, it's just weird.
It's a weird controller. Obviously, it had a lot of success and stuff, and the Z button at the back was a revolution, but that sort of eventually went and came back with the Elite controllers. But yeah, it's a sort of bizarre monster, really. The 64 controller. It's amazing that the controller lasted and didn't kill the console. There you go. I found it on this video. It's sort of ridiculous that it never. That it and the analog stick was fucking awful, and yeah,
awful.
It's amazing that they made games play well with this controller. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So those would be my 2.
Well, my favorite controller is from a long, long time ago.
Go on.
And my favorite controller was the Quick Shot 2 on the Commodore Amiga.
Okay.
And it was just, at the time, it was revolutionary in a way because it responded really, really well. But it had an auto fire thing on it, which was great for like vertical shooters or side-scrolling shooters on the Commodore Amiga, which there were quite a few of. And yeah, and obviously they used to get broken quite regularly.
I had one of these.
Yeah, Quick Shot 2.
Yeah, I had because I had one for Amstrad, I think.
Yeah, you did. They were on multiple different, but obviously I had an Amiga, so that's what I remember it on.
But I remember my dad repairing this.
Yeah, they used to break all the time, and the main game that broke these was Daley Thompson's Decathlon.
Yeah,
because of you had to waggle it from side to side as fast as you could.
I had this exact stick. Yeah. the quick shots, and it had suckers on the bottom.
It did. You could stick it down, job done.
Yeah.
And like I say, our very first episode was named after this controller.
Right.
You remember that? Because we called it Waggle My Stick. That was what our very first episode of the 035s was called all the way back in the day.
Well, there you are.
Waggle My Stick.
Duke.
Yeah. Wait, I haven't said my worst one yet.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Worst controller, without a doubt, is the Kinect camera.
Yeah.
Well,
that thing was fucking garbage. That was a pile of steaming shit.
It's a good point because I was going to say, like, oh, it's not a controller though, but they totally marketed it as a controller.
It's a controller. They even made that dude who made the thingy game that I really like. Made a game for it, didn't he? What the hell was that called?
I don't remember.
The shooter game. God, what's it called? Really good Japanese developer. I don't know. I love it. I love the game anyway. But he made a game for it, and it was fucking terrible. It was good, but because you had to close your fingers together to shoot, right? Yeah. And I ended up, when I finished the game, because I loved it, because I like that game. I can't remember what it was called now. You'll have to look Kinect games. I ended up with my hand almost like I had arthritis or something afterwards. It was hurting that much. You know, we're constantly doing this repetitive action for 4 hours or whatever to finish the game, and my hand was in agony afterwards. It was just, and who can ever forget Peter Molyneux's demo with the creepy boy or the
Milo.
Creepy Peter Milo?
Yeah, Milo.
Never happened. Never happened.
Good.
Let's do this creepy pedophile game where you can talk to a little boy and then stroke fish with him. And
Non-simulator.
Awful. And then just look at the sole of my foot.
Okay, Duke.
That's so awful.
Worst controller? The Intellivision had a pretty bad controller.
Intellivision.
Yeah, it was, I mean, okay, so the Atari had the base and the stick and the button, and that was fine. The Intellivision wanted to go 7 steps ahead, and so the Intellivision it was like a phone.
Oh, yeah,
it had
I can
these
see
9
it,
buttons, which broke, you know, they were the types of buttons that would wear down quickly, and you had to push them harder and harder every time you pushed them. And there was this disc at the bottom, which was just really weird because, again, it was made before a time when they had really good materials for that. So you had to push or, twist, and it just didn't work well. The buttons on the side were fine, but and there were all these little doodads that you would slip inside it for the game, and it would say, so you didn't have to think push 1. It would say, if you're playing blackjack, you would hit that, but it said stand. It was this little overlay that you could put on it.
Right, I see. Yeah, I can see it now.
Which is fine. It's just that it was a good concept, but it just didn't execute very well. So that was probably the worst controller I ever used.
There you go.
The best?
I would say the PS2. I really like the
PS2.
PS2
Oh, yeah, you did say that. Okay. All right, we'll move on because we do have quite a few of these. So thank you very much, Gunslinger, for that. My Tainted Brain says, how frustrating do you find grinding? What do you do to
about it with Rust?
What do you do to help you get through it? I'm playing Elden Ring and need to boost my character 5 levels, and it's seriously draining the fun out of the game. So we'll go to Duke first. What do you do about grinding? Do you suffer it, or does it depend?
It depends. I think if the gameplay loop, like once upon a time, the gameplay loop of grinding in Rust was fun to me. I never get tired of starting over in Minecraft, and I don't really know why. I think that grinding for XP is a different kind of grind, and I always got kind of annoyed by that. But here's the thing. Skyrim gets around it by scaling enemies. You know what I mean? In other words, if there were something in Skyrim so that as soon as you get near it, it just stomps you to death, win one hit, that would be very frustrating. So what they do is when you're low level, the monsters are less powerful. When you get high, and what the other thing they do in Skyrim is they, when you go into a dungeon the first time, it's all just regular Draugrs. When you get more powerful, they'll sprinkle in some Draugr Wights, some Restless Draugrs, some Draugr Death Lords, or whatever it is. So they keep throwing in more and more sophisticated enemies, which makes it entertaining because it would be boring if you just wiped through them easily, right? But back in the day, they made grinding a core aspect. Final Fantasy VII, you had to grind forever before you could go on to the next level. And I think that it's just, I don't know. Some people like it. Some people find the achievement of overcoming after having grinded a lot good. I don't find that good. So.
Yeah, for me, it sort of depends on the game. Like, so you're talking to somebody who grinded for 10,000 kills on Gears of War Online.
You're an idiot.
So,
You're an idiot.
I know. And you know, Red Dead Online is probably a game where I've done a lot of grinding. And I think the reason is if the core minute-to-minute gameplay is fun, then I will suffer repetitiveness a little bit more than if it wasn't fun. And if the world is enjoyable as well, so I love the world of Red Dead. I know it's pretty harsh, but I just think it's such a great that they've built such a great environment that I enjoy being in it. And I can't say that about Gears of War. That's not a great environment to be in. But the minute-to-minute gameplay of just like that multiplayer was really interesting and fun and satisfying for me. So that's why I'll suffer grinding. But no, I don't grind many games, to be fair. Only the ones that I like. So. Yeah, the achievement I worry about that less and less these days. So, Stu.
For me, I try and avoid it at all costs.
Grinding.
I must admit, yeah, I'll just try not to
What's
play
an
games
example of a game
require...
that you've done grinding in?
I don't even know if I can think of one.
Because you don't stay on a game very long, do you? So the idea of you
it's not that I don't stay on a game very long. I very rarely, as you know, I don't try and get these stupid achievements like in GTA.
No, I know,
4,
but I'm not saying like you don't finish
any
game, but I'm saying like even the games that you finish, you move on, like you
straight on to the main missions. Yeah, I never replay a game very rarely.
You're grinding Mass Effect at the moment, really, because you're playing DLC that you would.
Yeah, but I don't see it as grinding because it's varied and it's story based.
No, but
it's
I
not
think
like doing the same thing over and over again.
I think what Tainted Brain is talking about is like you've reached a point and you're like, right, I've got to do repetitive gameplay.
Yeah, to get to a level hard enough to get, or
have you done that?
Well, you don't really have to do that in Mass Effect at all.
Have you done that in any game though?
No, I can't think of a game at all.
Oblivion?
No, not really, because Oblivion, what's really good, what I find, right, for me, the perfect RPGs for me is where you naturally level up as you're doing the main missions to get to a standard where you can still carry on playing. And even The Witcher does that, and Cyberpunk 2077 did that. I've very rarely had to play a game where I've got to do loads of side missions just to get to the level I need to be to move on in the story.
Yeah.
The only game that I played that is like that is Final Fantasy 13. And I was just like, I'm done. I got to about 20 hours in. And I got to a point where I couldn't progress the main story unless I did loads of stuff over and over again. I'm like, nah, that's it. I'm done.
So your answer is you don't grind games.
I avoid it at all costs. And I'm sure I'm going to have to do that because I'm going to put some time into Elden Ring. I bought the bloody game.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether that's not fun because there's this risk reward thing going on as well. So it's not like you're just easily killing loads of stuff. You know what I mean? Just over and over again to get to a level that you need to be. So yeah. So yeah, I'll just try to avoid it.
Okay. Thank you.
Our cope.
Tainted Brain. Ian Williams says, "Do you enjoy making the show after all these years? Go on, let's answer that question first."
Well, I was going to say it's funny you should say that because
you're ending it tonight.
No, because I've just been doing some calculations, and I've nearly
17 years of our lives.
I've nearly spent a third of my life doing this show.
Yeah.
Which is just fucking crazy.
I just put it in those terms.
When you think of it
hang on
that.
a second. You have been doing this show during a third of your life. That's different from saying you've been doing it for a third of your life.
Well, no, but you understand what... Yeah, I get what you mean.
A third of your waking hours.
During a third of my life, we've been doing this podcast.
We've been with each other for a big part of... Right,
which is
a third of your life,
when you think about it,
it's a bigger percentage of our lives.
Ridiculous. I speak to you two more than pretty much anybody else I know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? That in itself is crazy when you think about it that way. But no, I can't see any. You know what I mean? I don't ever get bored.
I think one of the interesting things about that dynamic is that, we get on each other's nerves sometimes for real. But I think we've developed ways of dealing with that, and I think that's healthy, and I think that it's rare that people can, we've committed to sorting through our differences and finding the best beats, and as much as we give each other stick, I think that we've found a chemistry that has been longitudinal.
Definitely. And I think even when we do have disagreements, they don't tend to last very long, and it doesn't happen very often.
Yes, they do. Get it? I'm pretending to disagree.
Exactly. And it doesn't happen very often. We very rarely disagree, on that sort of level. I mean, it has happened. There has been times when we've really annoyed each other for whatever reason, but But you know what I mean? It's 40. Is it 14 years now? Isn't it? 14 years.
Something like that, yeah.
It's a long time to. And how many? Let's not beat around the bush. How many other podcasts have come and gone in the time we've been doing this? People start them up and then they just have not got the staying power, have they?
Yeah, no, it's nuts, really. I'm just watching the video where Duke surprises
that
you.
face is just the best face ever.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'll never ever forget that day. Oh my god!
Oh, what a great
forever, man. I'll be on my deathbed thinking about that day.
Yeah. So I feel like something.
I don't know if everybody knows this. Hang on a second. Sorry, that day almost didn't happen. It was very close. It came very close to not happening because you all know this, but Air France almost screwed up. We got there and we were on standby, and they were like, we might be able to get you out of here this morning. And we were like, you don't understand. We have to
don't understand what's right in
5 hours. There's a podcast about video games. All right, I hear it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
This was 2018 when we all got together, so it's 4 years ago now.
I love watching this.
Because
so cool.
I remember it was like 2008 when the show started, 2009 when Duke came into it.
Yeah.
So, whatever. So 2018, I'm like, yeah, that's when we met. And then something else started to click. I was thinking, because I was saying, I remember when I made this video where we got all united, and it was like, oh yeah, 10 years, here's to another 10 more. We're like 4 years into those 10 more. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was a long time ago from there.
Yes,
so time
crazy.
just marches on. And I think, look, most things, some things when they last and they end, and that's fine. But like some things just sort of keep going, and it gets past the point where everybody's egos have been checked, and everybody's sort of like, you know what, we know what all this is now. No one's like, I don't know, like us three just seem to go like, no, this just happens now. Like this is just the way it is. It just feels like it's got past the point of no return. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, this is it. I don't know. This is the way it is.
And we also, I mean, to be fair, we still continually get new listeners and stuff. And we've, the numbers go up and down, and, the amount of people listening, but it doesn't change that much, considering we've been doing it so long.
Yeah.
It just doesn't change that much, and it is just, we're a constant, aren't we? Which is just weird.
Yeah.
And even the fact that like people like Antonio, I was saying the other day to Kay, like Antonio was 10, 11 when we first met him. When he first listened or contacted the show, he was like 11 years old or something.
Okay, so there is a follow-on to Ian's question before we start blowing smoke up our ass. If there's one thing you could change about the show, what would it be?
Nothing. I would change nothing. It is what it is.
Duke?
Is my opinion.
No, that's my answer, Duke. I would change Duke.
That's quite funny.
I don't love.
Oh God, way up.
Stew.
Fact that it's Sundays.
All right, okay.
And it's not a big deal, and I've never made a big issue of it because I know that this is the least bad option. But there's something about having this 3-hour chunk of one of my days off eaten up by it.
But we made you happier today.
You have, that's true. But I really should be grading papers right now, and if I'm not
I understand. I totally understand that. I can totally.
I mean, whatever. Like I said, it's I'm kind of reaching for something, but it is a thing that I think about sometimes.
Yeah, I do appreciate that.
Because for a while we did it on Mondays. And then that became untenable because we had to start later because I got home from school. So, again, least bad option. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I totally get that, Duke. I totally appreciate where you're coming from with that.
I don't really think I would change anything. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to change Stu as it is, you know.
I am what I am.
I was talking about you this week to my dad, Stu, because it was your birthday, and I said, "Oh, you know, Stu's 50 this year." He was like, "He's a lovely bloke, isn't he, Stu? He's all right." The burger guy, because he always remembers when you came around for my birthday.
I know, and I ended up doing all the cooking.
Yeah, and
the barbecue.
And he's like, and his family was nice, and da 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 da.
Oh, bless him! I love your dad. He's such a nice chap.
So, like, you know, it's just nice, isn't it? I don't know.
It is weird. But like I say, I was just thinking about how long we've been doing it, and I'm like, I've been doing it for during a third of my life. I must get this right.
Yeah.
I don't want to do bad grammar again. During a third of my life, man. And it's even obviously more for you, Chinny. It's nearly half of you. Like, well,
if we get 22 years of doing this, then I'll be doing it longer than I haven't. Do you know what I mean? Like that's
that's madness.
Yeah. Well, you know, it'll end when we die. So...
It probably will. Probably will be doing that.
Who will go first?
I know. Can you imagine? There'll be a show where it'll be like, yeah, well, we've got to do a memorial show to do Chinny or Stu at some point.
As we all know, Chinny lived a wild lifestyle and he's died. And that's the show.
Can you imagine? That'd be well weird. That would be so weird.
All right.
Anyway,
okay.
let's not think about that.
Humper says, "Do you think you will play Phasmophobia again? There's been a few updates since the last
Yeah, I feel like we should do that at some point. You know.
Yeah, maybe we could do that.
I do feel like we should do that.
We also need to play poker again because somebody
I've
said,
got a potential date in mind if you're available, which is a week.
Poker or
yeah, for poker, which is this Friday coming if you're around. Because the guy from Portugal, Thingy Walker Jones, I can't remember his first name now, but Walker Jones, I remember his surname, weirdly. What was he? Gary. I've got his friend request on the Oculus Quest, so we're ready to go.
Right.
And he said he's available pretty much any night. You just need to let him know when.
Friday. It looks clear.
Okay, well, pencil it in. I'll ask Gary Walker Jones. Let's get it right, Gary Walker Jones. That's like Holly Arnold MB, and we'll see if we can get him on, sort it out.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get some. I'll obviously message the regulars and see if they're available as well.
Yeah.
So we'll get a few regulars on the poker too.
Okay,
that should
great.
be good fun.
Well,
and a bit of mini golf again.
Phasmophobia, yeah. I mean, I'd play it again. It's a fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. Did you buy it, Duke? I don't think you bought it. Did you?
No, I didn't buy it. I played it for a little bit, but I think I refunded it.
Yeah, I think you did, didn't you?
I'd probably just play it if we could get one more of like me, you, and someone else, Stu. Like that would be fun.
Well, Lewis was telling me at work. Not Lewis. Yeah, it is Lewis. No, Josh. Not Lewis. Josh. Josh at work was telling me they've done so many updates. Said there's just so many more areas and different abilities and all this stuff.
Probably due a look, isn't it? Yeah, it's probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Lewis is in the chat, by the way. Says, "Hey everyone, Farming Simulator 22. I got it, and it's legendary. Good for you, Lewis." But the last question in the Discord is from Tim Chopper Kelly.
Okay.
And he says, "If you had to go on a game show or reality show, which one would it be?"
That's a good question.
Game show. Or
I wouldn't mind going on Jeopardy. I think I mean I wouldn't do very well, I don't think, but I think it would be fun to give that a shot.
Okay.
Not a very exciting answer.
Interesting. Well, shows Chinny Love Island.
Well, I do have the body for it.
That's what I thought. You know the 6-pack and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And as and I'm married, which is a big,
obviously, you don't have to tell them. Just keep
well.
it quiet. What about Married at First Sight? Just keep it quiet. Keep it quiet. Fine.
No one will ever know.
No one will know. They all do research. It's fine.
I want to go on Tipping Point.
Tipping Point.
Because that shit looks easy.
Yeah, there's no skill apart from answering the question. You're just sticking in the slot note for the best.
Tipping Point is, have you got those machines in America where we call them 10p machines, where you put like a quarter in probably for you, and like there's a mechanic that pushes it and pushes
sliders
it off an edge.
Oh yeah. Sure.
So Tipping Point is that, but with a quiz show attached to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the questions always seem quite easy. And I think they encourage the game contestants to talk to the fucking counters that drop. Is like, come on, go left. And I'm like, I really want to get it. don't really want to get into that. So I want to do tipping point. That's the one I want to do. I can't do the smart ones like anything else, but I can do tipping point.
Well, I'd like to do a game show that's no longer on.
Bullseye.
Which was Bullseye.
Oh, Big Break. I would do Big Break.
Big Break. There you go. That's what you would do.
Yeah.
But no, the one I'd want to do was it called Through the Wall or the Wall? The one with where you had to make the shape of the person on the wall and not fall in the pool.
Yeah. Hole in the wall.
You don't have to be too intelligent for that or answer general knowledge questions, right? You just got to get through the hole in the wall. The hole in the wall.
Hole in the wall.
Hole in the wall. I'd do that.
I quite like the idea of the cube. I think the cube is cool.
Cube is quite cool as well.
The cube is like, out of all these game shows that come out, the cube has like got Crystal Maze vibes about it.
Yeah, Crystal Maze, man. God, I love that.
You can do that. You can pay to do that in London or Manchester.
What about Fort Boyard? Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, every teenage boy remembers Fort Boyard.
They do.
Melinda Messenger running around.
Or as Kay used to call it, Fort Big Tits and Trainers is what she used to call it.
Yeah, I mean, it was. It was good, though.
Yeah.
I might give that a good watch tonight. Right.
Fort Boyard.
Okay. Thank you very much. Those are all the questions in the Discord. Thank you very much.
Well, we've just got 2 emails and then we can get the hell out of here.
If anybody wants to leave any questions for us in the Discord, join our Discord. The link's in the show notes, and there's a section that says questions for the show.
Whoa, that ruled.
So the first email this evening is off Jason. And he's entitled this 50, and he says, we are celebrating my best friend's 50th birthday this weekend. I'll be sure to make a toast to you as well. You spent half your life being an incredible human. I hope the other half is even better. Cheers, Stu. Thank you for entertaining us all these years. 50 is a big deal. People love you, man. Don't ever forget it. I'll be 49 in August, and 50, and you, 50-year-old wanker. Happy half a century, Jason. So thanks ever so much. I really appreciate it. I love the sort of insulting sentiment of that email. It's good.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
I wouldn't. So thanks ever so much. I really appreciate it. Next email this week is off James Rice, and he says, play these games. Play these games, people. So he says, evening all, just listening to episode 643 whilst on holiday in Greece. And in response to you threatening to kill puppies, here's an email.
Right, okay.
Stu, how did you get on with Hades? You need to get back on it. It's one of the best games in recent years. I think you'd like it all. I was really enjoying it, actually, up to getting distracted with something else. Yeah, it's
not like you.
No, it's not like me at all. But yeah, I was doing quite well. I'd beaten the first boss, which was amazing. That's a grindy game.
Yeah, but you haven't even like played it to start grinding.
No, I was definitely grinding. I had to grind to get to kill the first boss. I had to go through it about 12 times or something ridiculous. So yeah, there you go. I have played a grindy game.
Yeah, but you've not grinded in it.
No, I stopped playing it. That's why.
Yeah.
So anyway, so there's that. Duke, not sure if you've ever tried the Outer Wilds, but this is also probably my favorite game of the last 10 years.
I've heard people say good things about it.
Not much crafting going on, but it should hit your itch for space exploration and narrative. One of those games that you have to go into knowing nothing about. Get past the first hour and you'll be hooked. As the review says, it's as wide as a puddle but deep as an ocean.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that, and I probably should play it, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't yet. Maybe one of these days.
Maybe one day. Chinny, I know it's a chore to crack out the PS4, but Horizon Zero Dawn is well worth it.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. It's on the. I know. Yeah. I fucking know. Yeah. I know.
I know he's totally correct in this assumption. I expect Duke is now rushing you along to finish the show. So bye, Ricey. P.S.
You aren't too wrong.
P.S. He's got a P.S. Are you ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Play Subnautica, Duke.
Yeah. Good luck on that one.
There you go. Thanks very much. That's all the emails, so that's pretty cool. That's all of the stuff we need to do. So it is time to go before Duke does start rushing us out of the place.
Yeah. Man, I am stuck on this. I should not have started playing this ParaBox game. All right. Yes. Right. Shout outs. Let's do it.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
Shout outs. I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who wished me a happy birthday either via Facebook or Twitter or whatever. There were so many of them, it's hard to read everybody out. But if you were one of those people, I appreciate it loads. Thanks very much. And it's really cool. So thank you. There you go.
Yay.
That's me done. Duke.
Chinny. Oh, me.
Duke,
okay.
Chinny,
Thanks everybody who's been participating in my polls. People fucking hate Uzbekistan. And I think Antonio hit it. I should find the video, but I didn't. Sorry, Antonio. But he said the reason is because of Borat. Here, wait, I'll just hold it up to the microphone there. At one point, they're driving around and he sees the embassy for Uzbekistan. So that's why people hate Uzbekistan. Anyway, Chile got a whole lot of votes. It was 92% Chile to 8% Uzbekistan. I don't know why I chose those two countries. But anyway, yeah. And other people I will shout out. Steve Pemberton saved my Thursday. So thank you, Steve. It was a rough Thursday, and his message really meant a lot. Marty has a hernia operation and chemo this week. Oof. But I got my favorite hip-hop producer to give him a shout-out, which felt really good. So thanks to him. SLH, of course, always fun to talk to on Twitter. And yeah, Chris Williams and Kev Westerman, a lot of people chatting and being a part of this. And oh yeah, Kev sent me his Skyrim screenshot, and he did a poll inspired by me asking about Skyrim, first person or third person. First person got 70% of the votes, and third person got 30%. Now let me also say, people who participate in my polls, y'all are fucking psychopaths. Pancakes are better than waffles. What are you thinking? And I'm sorry, Chinny, I like table tennis more than pool, so.
Well, that's the show.
Yeah, Chinny, you're not doing yours?
To be honest,
finally found some reason to stop doing the show.
Pool is just baby snooker, so like pool's.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I put a billiard ball. I guess it was an 8-ball, but there's no snooker ball on.
There is no
emojis.
snooker ball emoji. I'm kicking off about it. My shout-outs are to Stu. Happy birthday, Stu. 50.
Oh, thank you.
There is something on the way to you. I expect you to take a photo and be like, what the fuck is this shit?
I am going to definitely do that. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Well, I might have overhyped it. No, never. Shout out to the Kanye West documentary.
Whatever it is, Ginny, I will appreciate it.
Shout out to the Kanye West documentary. It's very good. Shout out to the new rapper that I've discovered, Duke.
Okay.
Which isn't a new rapper.
Is that the Ukrainian winner of Eurovision?
I was going to shout out the UK for truly winning
Eurovision.
They did,
yeah. Yeah, you're not allowed to say that, Ginny.
They won it.
You're not allowed to say
we
that.
won.
No. Yeah, we were the best.
We won.
Sure.
Like that song, like the Ukraine song was not that great.
It was all right though.
I'm not bitter or anything. I know they're at war. It's fine.
They probably would not have won in some other year.
No.
Do you know what was kind of funny, right? Millie's boyfriend Adam tweeted, beaten by pity votes on Twitter, and he was getting so much stick.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's fine. Like, I'm happy that, like, I was saying to Tara, Ukraine should win, right? That's the correct thing to do because it shows that we're all not standing for this shit, and it's fine. Yeah. But come on, we won. Like,
Millie was annoyed, right? Because she is a Eurovision super fan,
right?
Right. Since she was a tiny little kid, she
Sam Ryder fan
every year. Is what? Sorry,
she a Sam Ryder fan?
Well, she liked the song. She really liked the song.
All right.
But last night she was like, I don't think I'm ever going to see UK win in my lifetime. I don't think I'm ever going to see it.
She will.
She was so bitter, honestly. She was so unhappy.
I thought the Netherlands song was my favourite song. But anyway.
Anyway.
Shout out to the UK for winning Eurovision, even though we didn't. And the rapper that I found, Duke, is Rappin' Forte. Do you know this guy?
I do not know Rappin' Forte.
Oh, right. Well, he made a song called Players Club.
Oh, okay.
Rapping Forte, Players Club. I've been listening to that quite a lot this week. And I thought, Duke...
It's the first thing on YouTube. I will check it out.
Duke
it's from 2008. This is an old song.
Yeah, Duke must know who this guy is.
Sorry. There's a lot of rappers I don't know these days.
I
mean,
thought it was
feel
older.
pretty-
I thought it was in the 90s. That's why I was like,
Well, yeah, no, that's sure, and right, yeah. Once we got to 2000, like the game exploded,
no,
and I
you've shocked me there. I thought it
tracks.
was like 95 or something. This song. So the fact that it's 2008. But anyway, it's a great song. I like it.
Cool.
I don't know else. No, that'll be.
Is that it?
all. That'll be it. Yeah.
Is that it? Are we done?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
We're done.
Can I just say, by the way, I've only got 1,400 minutes for people to listen to my mixes to get to 100,000 minutes, people. Get on DJ No Clue on Mixcloud and then let's get to that 100,000. That'd be well
Thanks
good.
for listening, everybody.
Yeah.
Won't you? Won't you? Won't you?
Like anybody fucking gives a shit.
That wasn't about you. Just switch off the television set and go and do something less boring instead. Sitting at home on TV. Love's so good to me.
You require a 3-bedroom bisexual house share in Walthamstow. Is that correct?
Yeah, I want one of those.
It is correct. It is.
Yeah,
Very
it is.
correct, yeah.
Totally want one. Is that it? We done?
That's it. We're done.
We're done.
Hitting
for another
stop
week.
now.
Stop now. Yeah, Chinny. So Friday, unless otherwise stated, I will message around and see if we can get Nicole on and yeah, get a few people in. See if we can get in. See if we get Robin on. He's always good for a laugh, isn't he? Old Tatey boy. Bongo. The Tate Meister. The Potato Meister. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if we can get him in. See if we can get a few people in. It'd be good fun. It was good fun last time, wasn't it? So I've got a new course, by the way, which I have in my show notes every week, and I've still not talked about it, which is on mini golf called Sweetopia.
Right.
It's pretty cool. I bought that, so that'd be good fun. And it's like Willy Wonka chocolate factory course.
I'm with you.
So that's cool. So it's like rivers of chocolate and all sorts of weird shit going on. So that'll be quite good fun. So we'll give that a play, and then we'll play some poker or roulette again, which was fun last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Okie dokie, guys. I will leave you
All right.
to
Happy
it.
birthday, Stu.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
I will, don't you worry. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to go
Yeah.
and laze on the beach in the
Yeah.
sunshine,
Bye.
I guess. See you later.
See ya.
See you. Right, Mike, I will leave you to it because I guess I should go to bed. I've got to be up early in the morning to get ready to go and pack my case and all that malarkey.
Yeah. Say goodbye to the stream.
Goodbye, stream.
It's when somebody leaves, it ruins it.